Hello everyone, welcome to What If Kirito Made Harem with Xenovia and Serafall Leviathan in real-world movie. Before we start, please go support Josu5 for writing that awesome fanfic. This is the translated version I made, there will be some mistaken characters' gender, but of course Kirito is a male. Chapter 1. My birthday, the beginning of the adventure. Hello people of Wattpad, how are you? I hope you are well here I bring you the first chapter of this new story of Xenovia, Seraphim, Twilight and Göll in the real world, but well, today is my birthday, so that's why I decided that the story will start like this on the very day of my birthday, which is today Thursday, but well, without making so much filler XD, let's start with the beginning of this story. Hello, my name is Josu Del Cid Sickle, and I will tell you the story of how my life changed overnight, as well as how my favorite waifus came to my world, living an adventure that could only be experienced in an anime. Click on the intro of this story. Opening of this story. Faith, the second opening of Tate no Yusa in Latin American Spanish. Singer. David Delgado, Lateral Square. Chapter introduction music. Today we present. On my birthday, the beginning of the adventure. Country of Guatemala. One day before my birthday, that is, February 2nd. 6:00 p.m. I was in the living room of my house because I was watching fanfics that I loved. Since tomorrow would be my birthday, I was doing a marathon of fanfics that I liked. And my marathon started early because after exercising in the mornings as usual and doing my chores, my fanfic marathon began. And I started watching the best fanfics of the fanfictioners who inspired me to be a fanfictioner. For example, the fanfics about the bros from the bros in Akame ga Kill and then the bros in Gaodaban no Hanayam. Then I continued with one of the best fanfics about one of my favorite DXT ships, Issei x Seraph, the fanfic called My Magical Girl Issei x Seraph. Also one of the best fanfics of my friend Playmaker RV of Spiderman and Sailor Moon, and in my marathon, I also put my next favorite fanfic, but this time of Mr. Wolf Knight, which is Avengers x Boku no Hero Academia and Izuku and Darling in the Franxx. Finally, my three favorite fanfics in the whole world, starting with the fanfic of Maxigami 98, the fic of Sailor Moon and Boku no Hero Academia, and the best fanfic of Mr. Wolf Knight. Issei in Boku no Hero Academia, and finally the fanfic of the Great Bat Godzilla in Highschool DxD, and yes, these three fanfics are the best I have seen and are my top 3M. Although my marathon was half over, I was already on Sailor Moon and Boku no Hero Academia, starting with chapter 1 obviously. Wow, I can't get enough of this story, but it's a shame I don't have a good snack, but anyway, let's continue with the marathon with the next chapter, as Feedwolf says, Puchale play. This is how I would start watching the next chapter of Sailor Moon and Boku no Hero Academia. And so it would continue until reaching the end of the first season of Sailor Moon and Boku no Hero Academia. To then continue with the first season of Issei in Boku no Hero Academia, and my marathon would finally end with the first season of Godzilla in Highschool DxD. And luckily my marathon ended at 7 p.m. Wow, it's a good thing I started the marathon in the morning, because if I had started it in the afternoon, it would have taken me longer. After that my mother had returned from work to have dinner, and after that I continued watching YouTube bored since my marathon was already over, I had nothing else to do. Later. I was in my bed ready to sleep, so I put on my headphones so I could sleep with music. Well, tomorrow will be a great day. That's how I would fall asleep. Without knowing that my life was about to change. The next day. It was 6 a.m. and I was getting out of bed. Well, it's time to do my morning exercises. So I would start doing my exercises from squats, push-ups, sit-ups, stretching, push-ups, although those were a bit difficult for me, and to finish I went up to the terrace of my house and started running until I finished my exercises. 12 seconds later. I had returned to my room to then lie down on my bed, but then I got up again and went to the living room, starting to dust the armchairs and then sweeping and cleaning the television cabinet. After that I would return to my bed and then lie down and fall deeply asleep again. Later. My father had gone to work, but luckily we had already had lunch. My little sister would go to her room to take her online classes while I was watching funny videos of the guys in GTA 5 online. Wow, I never get tired of watching these videos, but oh well, I hope they're showing something cool and awesome on regular TV. That's how I would put the Star Channel, a channel that was originally the Fox channel, but they changed it, and to my surprise, they were showing Jurassic World. Fallen Kingdom because I was waiting for June for the premiere of Jurassic World. Dominion. God, I hope I'm not the only one waiting for the new movie in this glorious dinosaur saga. But out of nowhere static would appear on the television, surprising me a little. Hey, what's up? What's going on? Is it a technical glitch or something? But when I stood up from the television chair, some green rays would come out that would hit me, but also something else would come out since I would fall to the floor while the television returned to normal. When I opened my eyes I was super surprised because what was above me were 4 girls that I knew perfectly well. I'm super surprised. Xenovia Serafall Leviathan, but what are they doing here? They look very beautiful, not for nothing are they my best waifus of all the anime, but there were also Göll and Twilight Sparkle, they also look beautiful, but I don't understand what they are doing here. I'll have to ask them later, but for now I'll put them in my mom's bed. So I would carry each of the girls and put them on my mom's bed. Luckily, the bed was big. After that I would go take a quick little bath and then go out and go into my room to change my clothes. After that I would go to my mother's room seeing that the girls were still unconscious, so I grabbed some benches so I could sit on the corner of the bed, but I would fall asleep. 1 hour later. The first of the girls to wake up would be Xenovia, seeing where she was, somewhat surprised. Xenovia confused. What the heck? Where am I supposed to be? I don't know this place at all. But then Seraphim had suddenly woken up. Seraffal. Su-tan. Where are you? Xenovia. Hey Seraffal-sama, are you okay? Seraffal. Hey, I'm fine, but where are we? And where is Su-tan? Xenovia. Well, I don't know, but look, there are 2 girls next to us. At that moment, Göll would suddenly wake up, seeing where he was. Göll confused. Hey, where am I? But Göll would see Xenovia and Seraffal. Göll. Who are you? I don't remember seeing you at the Ragnarok Coliseum. Xenovia Serafall Confundidas. Ragnarok. But then Twilight would suddenly wake up. Twilight. Girls. Where are you? But Twilight would see the girls waving. Twilight. And who are you? And where are we? Göll. I don't know, but maybe that guy can tell us where we are. So the girls would see me approaching and then move, but I would say a classic phrase. Be asleep. 5 more minutes, mom. Göll. Hey, we're not your mom. Twilight. But maybe you can tell me where my friends are. Xenovia Serafall. And tell us where we are. But upon hearing the voice of my favorite waifus from all the anime, I stood up like lightning, but I also couldn't hold back the emotion of screaming. Hello and sorry for waking up like this. Xenovia. Don't worry, but who are you? I don't remember ever seeing you. I kept holding back the urge to scream with excitement and then take a deep breath before saying. Let me introduce myself, my name is Josu del Cid Sickle and it's a pleasure to meet you. So I would bow. Xenovia. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you Joshua, let me introduce myself, my name is Xenovia Serafall. Yo soy Serafall Citri Leviathan. Göll. I am Göll, but you can call me Jer if you want. Twilight. And I am Twilight Sparkle Princess of Friendship. The girls were impressed when they heard what Twilight said. And well, answering your question about where they are, well, they are in my house in my mom's room. Xenovia Serafall. But how did we get here? Göll. Twilight. And why are we here? Well, out of nowhere you guys shot out of my TV. I was relieved because I thought it was the Hoop Girl, and believe me I'm scared of her. But the girls would be confused with what I said, but more Xenovia, Serafall and Göll. Xenovia Serafall. Göll confused. From your TV? Twilight. I think you're wrong about something. I was with my friends gathered, but suddenly a light blinded us all, and I appeared here. Xenovia Serafall. And we were in a battle against the Treeks of the Beast of the Apocalypse, but then we are supposed to be dead, but we are alive. Göll. I was at Ragnarok watching the final battle, but out of nowhere a flash of light appeared, and then I ended up here. I was thinking about showing them everything and the possibility that they would get depressed, but I had no other option other than if I didn't do it, they wouldn't be able to go out and see the world. So I would take the girls to my living room and then grab the TV remote. Listen to me, I know this will be painful, but you have to know. So using YouTube I would start showing each of them about their animes and series. Minutes later. The girls couldn't believe it, their lives were a complete lie, the most affected was Göll, she couldn't believe everything she had seen. Xenovia Serafall. Göll. Twilight sad. Our lives all this time were a lie. No, in their worlds, their lives were never a lie, but now I ask myself, what the hell were those green rays? But when I remembered that I fell unconscious, worrying the girls. Meanwhile. I was standing in a clear space, I didn't know what it was until someone appeared in front of me. Izuku. Hello Joshua. Be surprised. Woo-oh, it's you. Izuku Midoriya. Izuku. Haha, that's me and it's a pleasure to meet you. Wait a minute, if I'm seeing you does that mean I'm in one for all? Izuku. That's right, listen to me carefully Joshua, I want to tell you that several villains that I have faced and defeated along with my class will come to your world, so the other carriers and I decided to leave you one for all 100% mastered so you can protect your world. Wait okay I'm ready for anything to protect my world. Izuku. Then good luck and remember to smile. So I would return to reality seeing that I was on the couch, but I would see that the girls were crying upon knowing the truth, but more to Xenovia. Calm down girls, don't cry, I know it's painful, but you had to know. At that Xenovia looked into my eyes crying. Xenovia crying. You don't understand, do you even understand what it feels like to know that your life has been a complete fucking lie, do you even know that? But then he would hug Xenovia tightly, surprising her and leaving her blushing. To then hug Seraffal and Göll and Twilight. I know it's painful but understand, you had to know and no, I don't know what you feel, but believe me, I would feel the same as you or worse, but it was the right thing to do but don't worry, I'm here for you. That way the girls would thank me, but my little sister would see me impressed. Little sister? What the heck bro, who are they? And why do they look like anime characters you see? Long story. But then an explosion would be heard. What the heck was that? Xenovia. Let's find out. So we would all go out and what I would see I couldn't believe was the Nomu that attacked the USJ and Boku no Hero Academia. Scared Seraffal. What is that thing? Twilight. No idea but it looks creepy. But then the Nomu would quickly leave, but green rays would come out of my body, flying out after the Nomu. Göll. We must follow him. So Seraffal would put my sister on her back and then together with Xenovia they would start to fly, but Twilight with her wings would take Göll away. Minutes later. The girls would arrive seeing that I was fighting the Nomu, but my mother was watching me since the fight was taking place outside my mother's work. But then he would punch me, sending me flying into the Pacific Mall parking lot, crashing to the ground. Damn that hurt but at least I'm glad I didn't break my bones like Izuku. But then the Nomu was going to hit me, but his arm would be cut off and I would see that it was Xenovia who had her Durandal sword in her hands. Xenovia. I won't allow you to touch Joshua because if you do I'll cut you to pieces. But the Nomu would regenerate his arm surprising Xenovia. But the Nomu would be hit by a magical attack from Twilight while Göll began to hit the Nomu and then Seraffal, who had her magical girl outfit, would cast an ice spell. That's what I would get up to. Xenovia, I need you to hold him back since the only way to beat him is to give him a strong punch in the brain. Xenovia. Okay, we'll do our best. So Xenovia would go help the girls while I prepared to strike hard. So the girls would stop the Nomu. Xenovia Serafall Göll Twilight. Do it now Joshua. So I would jump and then scream. Yo. Detroit it's small. This way he would be able to destroy the Nomu's brain and his body would disappear. We won. But then he would fall unconscious. 10 seconds later. That's when I would wake up seeing the girls and then they would hug me tightly. Xenovia Serafall Göll Twilight. Please don't scare us like that again. Okay, I'll do it. So I would see that everyone would start to applaud me, but also the girls, and then my mother and sister would hug me tightly. Later. I would be at my house while we ate cake because since it was my birthday we had to eat free cake. But then the girls would hug me tightly. Xenovia Serafall Göll Twilight. Happy birthday Joshua. So each of the girls would give me a kiss on the cheek, surprising me and making me blush. Me blushing? And why was that? So the girls would smile. Xenovia Serafall Göll Twilight. Why we barely met today, but still you treated us well, and it's good to have met you also take it as a birthday present haha. Me blushing. Thank you very much. That's what my mother would tell the girls that they would be famous for being the ones who helped me, the savior of Guatemala, hahaha, because that's what they started calling me. Twilight. Hey Joshua, do you think you can teach me a little about technology? Yeah why? At that Twilight would smile nervously. Twilight. Let's just say I'm not very good with technology and I don't think I can understand the one in your world, hahaha. So we would all start laughing. Later at night. I had gone up to the terrace of my house and would be seeing the lonely street, but also using the levitation quirk I would see my city at night but in that. Xenovia. Wow, so Guatemala is so beautiful. It would be great if there was a country like that in my world. That's how I would turn around seeing Xenovia with her demon wings. I thought you were asleep with the others. Xenovia. Well I woke up seeing that you weren't in your bed so I came here and saw you. I see. Xenovia. By the way, your dogs are very cute when they sleep. That's how they are. Xenovia. But getting back to the topic, your country does look beautiful in every aspect. You must be happy to live in a country like that. Well, this is my country, more than my homeland, it is my roots, this is where I belong. Xenovia. That makes me happy, but we should go rest, don't you think? If you're right, so let's go. So we would go down and then enter my house without making any noise, and then I would go to bed and my bed and Xenovia would go to bed on the mattress where the others were sleeping. Xenovia. Good night, Joshua. Good night, Xenovia. So Xenovia would fall asleep. While I was staring at the ceiling thinking about what had happened. My thoughts. If what Izuku told me is true, I have to be attentive and also continue training, because even though I have one for all mastered 100%, I can't be too confident and I must protect my family and the girls no matter what happens. Out of my thoughts. So I would fall into a deep sleep. And this is how my new adventure begins, a new adventure that can only be experienced in an anime. What will happen now? What's next for our protagonist and the girls? Find out in the next chapter. The ending of this story. Ending of this story. Shout Baby, the second ending of Season 4 of Boku no Hero Academia, Latin Spanish version. Singer. Danny Green. Chapter 2. Fame Problems, A Day with the Girls. The day we present. Fame Problems, A Day with the Girls. A week had passed after the girls' arrival, and I had literally become someone known, although I did continue training since I knew I couldn't be trusted so easily. One Friday night. I had gone out with my mom and my little sister to buy dinner since she had already returned from work. All the girls were in the living room watching TV for the time being. Oh. Damn, there's nothing good to see. Twilight. Now that I remember, Joshua mentioned that his movie genres were science fiction and action. Seraffal. That's what channel we can watch. So Seraphim would take control of the television, putting on the Star Action channel where they were showing the movie. Planet of the Apes. Confrontation. Xenovia. Wow, we found a good movie to watch. So the girls would be watching the movie until. Twilight. Hey, I have a question. And what is Twilight? Twilight. Tell me, what do you feel about Joshua? Hearing that, the girls would get nervous. Nervous, Xenovia. Why do you ask that? Twilight. Well, I've noticed how you always wake up next to each other in the mornings, and the same thing happens with me, but more with you, Xenovia, it's like we all belong together. At that, Twilight would get nervous. Nervous Twilight. In love with Joshua, hahaha. The girls were impressed to hear that. Xenovia Serafall Leviathan surprised. What you say is true, Twilight. Twilight. Really? Seraffal. Yes, but it seems that the four of us feel the same way about Josu-chan. That would surprise Twilight. Twilight surprised. True, how did I not realize, haha. Seraffal. Well, that's what happens sometimes. Xenovia. But if the four of us feel the same way about Joshua, then we could share it. It's no problem for me and you guys, Seraphim and Twilight. Seraffal. Well, no problem, I don't like to fight. Twilight. Neither do I, and besides, you're my new friends. Xenovia. Well, but we have to find the right moment to tell each of us what we feel for him. Seraffal. Xenovia-chan, why don't you do it first? Xenovia blushed. Me? After all, we always see you sleeping next to him and you even slept with him once in your underwear. Xenovia would blush super red from embarrassment. Twilight. It's a good thing her mother doesn't come around much to supervise everything, otherwise you would have gotten into trouble. Seraffal. But back to the topic, it's better that you be the first to tell him how you feel. Xenovia. And they do it for me. Of course you are our friend. Seraffal. And that's why it's possible, in one day we'll go out together with your little sister so they can be alone. Twilight. What do you think of the idea? At that, Xenovia would smile. Xenovia. Thanks, friends. Later. It was nighttime and I was sleeping in my bed while the girls were sleeping on the mattress, but someone was missing. On the terrace. Xenovia would be watching the street calmly, but she was nervous. Xenovia. Joshua, since I met him, reminded me a lot of Issei, and I know he died, but he would have wanted me to continue, but even so I'm nervous, I'm afraid that he will reject me. So Xenovia would start singing the next song. So after having sung, Xenovia had calmed down. Xenovia. I will show Josu what I feel, but I really like sleeping next to him, although it does not matter if I am wearing pajamas or underwear, I like to sleep next to him. So Xenovia would return inside the house and then go back to sleep. The next day. That's where I would be slowly waking up and that's where I am. Xenovia. Good morning, Joshua. At that I would open my eyes and then blush heavily since Xenovia was sitting on top of me, but she was in her underwear. Me blushing. Xenovia. Why are you like that? Xenovia. Haha, well, instead of being cold I was hot so I took off my pajamas. Oh, I see. Xenovia. But tell me, do I look bad? No, it's not that, you look very beautiful, but I still don't want my mom to walk in out of nowhere and see you like that. Xenovia. Don't worry, she already went to work, but well, we have to go train where you told us. Okay, but you have to get dressed. Minutes later. I had already taken a bath, but then I would see that Xenovia had her combat suit that she used when the Gremory clan met her. Wow Xenovia, that suit looks beautiful on you. At that Xenovia would blush while she squeezed the sheet out of nerves. Xenovia blushed. Do you really think I look good? Of course. Although it doesn't matter since you always look beautiful even in your uniform that you always wear. Xenovia would get redder, but then calm down. Minutes later. We were in a park where I was running while doing my typical exercises. After that the girls were talking. Xenovia was with me. Xenovia. Hey Joshua. What's up? Xenovia. Do you know how to sing? Yeah why? Xenovia. Could you sing a song with me please? Sure. So with my phone I would choose a song and then Xenovia and I would start singing. When the song ended, Xenovia and I would be calm, watching the light of dawn while the others were watching us. Goal would be somewhat thoughtful about that. Twilight. Hey Goal, is something wrong? Seraffal. We see you are somewhat thoughtful. Goal. Well, it surprises me that Joshua has that power called One for All, and it surprises me that on the day we arrive, One for All will enter Joshua. Seraffal. The truth is that I was also thinking about it, but even so, if something else like that monster appears, we have to be alert. Twilight. Exactly so I could help Joshua fight and protect this world. Later. I was with the girls watching funny videos on YouTube, but then I heard a lot of screaming outside my house. And now? Xenovia. What's going on out there? Goal. I'll go see. So Goal would go up to the terrace and then be surprised. Goal. Guys come see quickly. That's how we would go up, but I would be surprised to see that there were many people shouting my name and that they had signs of me in the Izuku suit. Damn, I never thought I was already so famous. Seraffal. I'm speechless. Twilight. Tell me about it. Xenovia. Well let's wait for everyone to leave. I like your idea Xenovia. But after many hours the people would finally leave. Damn, they took too long to go. Seraffal. Well it's understandable you saved your city from that beast, it's understandable why you're so famous. Goal. Still, this is too much, fame is difficult. Twilight. Believe me, Goal, I'm a princess. Believe me, my fame was too much and it stressed me out. Xenovia. Well, the Gremory clan was recognized thanks to our exploits, but it was still stressful, but even so that was in the past, because as we already know our lives were a lie. Maybe or maybe not. So we would all start laughing. The next day. The girls and I were alone in the house since my little sister had gone with my cousin. Tell me girls what you would like to see on YouTube. Xenovia. What do you recommend? What do you think about watching Holosugerman? Seraffal. Who is he? He's a YouTuber who uploads funny videos and is too famous. Goal. Oh that sounds interesting. Twilight. Show us their videos. Xenovia. Yes, I also want to see your videos. Okay, fine, what do you think about seeing the Guadalupe arrows afterward? Xenovia Serafall Twilight Goal. What is that? It's a very well-known soap opera. So we would be watching funny videos of Holosugerman and also the Rose of Guadalupe, and the truth is the girls were laughing a lot, they literally liked it a lot and had a good time. Much later. It was time to sleep so while the girls were fixing their mattress Xenovia would be watching me. Xenovia. Joshua. Hey, what's up? Nervous Xenovia. I can sleep with you. Blushing. Yes, but don't you and the girls always wake up next to me? Xenovia. Well yes, but this time I'm asking, and then can I sleep with you? Sure. Seraffal Twilight Goal. Good night Joshua. Good night girls. Seraffal Twilight Goal. Rest, my friend. Xenovia. Rest girls. At that the girls would whisper something in Xenovia's ear. Seraffal Twilight Goal whispering. Tomorrow will be the day you tell Joshua how you feel, and after we return we will tell him our feelings. So the girls would go to bed. Okay Xenovia let's go. But he would be blushing to see that Xenovia had taken off her pajamas and was left in her underwear. Xenovia blushed. Haha calm down it's just that I'm hot. Me nervous? Okay, fine. So Xenovia would lie down next to me and she would surprisingly give me a kiss on the cheek and that would make me blush. Xenovia. Good night Joshua. Me blushing. Good night Xenovia. So I would fall asleep, but Xenovia would hug me tightly putting my head on her breasts. Xenovia's thoughts. Xenovia. Tomorrow I have to tell Josu what I feel. I know I can, I'm not going to be afraid, and I also think I could give him my first time. I just hope he feels the same way I feel about him. Out of your thoughts. Xenovia would start stroking my hair and then fall into a deep sleep. What will happen now? Will Xenovia manage to express her feelings to our protagonist? Find out in the next chapter. Chapter 3. A Quiet Day, We Love You So Much Joshua. The day we present. A quiet day, we love you so much Joshua. The next day. The girls were at the entrance of my house waiting for my little sister to take her for a walk. While I was taking a bath. At that Twilight would smile. Twilight. Well Xenovia, we wish you luck, but don't be afraid, you can do it. Xenovia. I'll do what I can, I'm not going to back down. Twilight. That's the spirit, my friend. Goal. Well, we have to go, so good luck. Seraffal. You can do it Xenovia-chan M. So the girls would go together with my little sister. Xenovia. I know I can do it. At that point I would come out of the bathroom already changed. Hello Xenovia. Xenovia. Oh hi Joshua. Hey, what about the others? And where's my little sister? Xenovia. Well, the others went out for a walk with your little sister, so you and I are here alone. Oh I understand, and tell me what you want to do. Xenovia. And if we see the Rose of Guadalupe again, I liked it a lot. Sure, okay. So Xenovia and I would be watching episodes of La Rosa de Guadalupe, although some episodes made Xenovia sad, they reminded me of when I started watching La Rosa de Guadalupe. Minutes later. Xenovia. Wow, the chapters are incredible, but some of them get sad. What do you think if we see Miss Sinfonia reacting to the Guadaluperos? Xenovia. Sounds interesting. This is how we would be seeing some of the reactions from Miss Sinfonia of the Rose of Guadalupe, although Xenovia was laughing too much. Minutes later. That's where Xenovia would be seeing me. Hey, is something wrong Xenovia? Xenovia. You know I don't regret having met you. Me confused. Why? So Xenovia would smile. Xenovia. Because before when I died I had accepted my destiny, but now that I discovered that my previous life was perhaps a lie, I am glad to be here and with you and the girls. So I would just smile. Well, the truth is I never thought my life would take this 360-degree turn, but I'm still glad I met you and the others. So Xenovia would hug me tightly and I would hug her back. But Xenovia was blushing. Xenovia's thoughts. Xenovia. Come on, you can do it, it's time. Out of your thoughts. At that point Xenovia would stop hugging me and then look me in the eyes. Hey, is something wrong Xenovia? But I would be surprised to see how Xenovia was kissing me on the lips, making me blush a lot. But with some nerves I would kiss back and then we would both separate. We blushed. Why was that? Xenovia blushed. Well, it's because I've wanted to tell you for a long time, but I was afraid that you would reject me, but I'm not going to keep quiet about what I feel Joshua, I love you. That had left me surprised since I never thought that Xenovia felt something for me. You know maybe you're not from my world, but even so I started to feel something for you, but also for the others, but I was afraid to say it since I've never had good times in love, since I had been rejected 3 times, but now I know what I feel for you and for the others, so I love you too. That had made Xenovia happy to know that he did feel the same way about her. Xenovia blushed. You don't know how happy it makes me to know that you feel the same way about me. I know this will sound very hasty or something like that, but I'll say it Xenovia Quarta, would you like to be my girlfriend? That would make Xenovia happier, so she would hug me tightly. Xenovia. Yes, 1,000 times yes, Joshua, yes, I want to be your girlfriend. So we would both give each other a tender and passionate kiss, and then we would both separate. Xenovia. Joshua, there is something I would like to give you, but first wait here and then go to your room. So Xenovia would leave while I remained thoughtful. What could that be? Well, I won't figure it out if I stay here thinking. So I would go to my room, but when I saw my door I would notice a magic anti-noise seals. I didn't know Xenovia could make those noise-reducing magic seals. Well, I don't remember much from the DxD literary novel, but I think everyone could make these seals. But then I would see a little piece of paper on the floor that said something. You can come in now. Well, if I can come in now that's fine. So I would open the door and then enter and close it. Xenovia, I'm already there. But I would be surprised at the same time that I would turn super red like a tomato since Xenovia was in her underwear, but she looked beautiful. Xenovia. And how do I look? Super blushed. Well this you look very beautiful. Xenovia blushing. Haha thanks. Blushing. But why are you like that? Xenovia blushed. Well, I want to have my first time with you since you are and will be the only boy in my heart, that's why I would like to give you my first time, of course, if you accept. Me blushing. Well this yo what happens is that it would also be my first time. Xenovia blushed. So you accept? Me. Sure, why not? So Xenovia would get up and then the two of us would start kissing passionately. While we were kissing, Xenovia would start taking off my clothes, leaving me only in my boxers. Me blushing. This is a little embarrassing since I never thought about this kind of things if I ever have a girlfriend. Xenovia blushed. Calm down, you're not the only one who's sorry, I am too. So we would both kiss again and then slowly lie down on my bed. While we were kissing I began to nervously touch Xenovia's breasts while I heard them moan tenderly. This would continue until he began to kiss Xenovia's neck, listening to her moan with more pleasure. Until after a while she would take off her bra exposing her breasts, leaving me super blushed. Xenovia blushed. Don't be afraid, go ahead, after all they are only yours, my love. So I would start touching Xenovia's breasts, so she is alone, she would start moaning with pleasure, so I would start playing with Xenovia's nipples, so she is moaning louder, then I would nervously start sucking her breasts, so she would grab my head, implying that I shouldn't stop. Until after a while I would stop and then with some nerves take off Xenovia's underwear and then begin to lick her privacy, so she is beginning to moan louder and after a while it was time. Xenovia blushed. Calm down, I'm nervous too. Me nervous? Okay here I go. So I would put my member into Xenovia's intimacy so she would scream in pain and I would endure the pain since it had hurt me. And that I would see that Xenovia was shedding tears. Me worried. Are you okay? Xenovia in pain. Yes, I just need to get used to the pain. So after a while Xenovia would get used to the pain and then I would start to move and Xenovia would start to moan with pleasure and lust and so she would hug me like that and I would continue moving until I was about to reach the end. Arg Xenovia I can't take it anymore. Xenovia. Do it inside me I don't care what happened I just want to be with you until the end. So we had finally reached the climax and both of us would fall into bed tired and exhausted. Minutes later. The two of us were in bed, lying down but hugging each other. Wow, just wow. Xenovia. Wasn't it beautiful? Yes, I never thought having your first time would feel like this. Xenovia. Well that's how it feels when you do it with the person you love. Yes, you're right, but if I'm honest, I never thought I could fall in love again, since, as I told you, I was rejected 3 times, and that hurt me too much, so that's why I decided not to give love any importance. Xenovia. I'm really sorry, but I will never leave you alone, neither me nor the others. Be surprised. Wait, do you mean girls love me too? Xenovia. Yes, in fact they helped me so I could tell you my feelings, and they also love you the same. Wow, I didn't expect that. So Xenovia would let out a small laugh. Xenovia. Haha well we have to take a bath and get dressed since the others will surely return with your little sister soon. Later. The girls had returned with my little sister and then went to her room while the others went to mine seeing me, now Xenovia, giving us a kiss. So Twilight would let out a laugh and then smile. Twilight. Looks like you did it. Seraffal. If I knew it, you did it. Goal. I'm glad you'll make it. Xenovia. Well it's your turn anyway Joshua already knows what you feel for him. That'd surprise the girls. Yes and I can tell you that I also feel the same way about you so I will tell you, I love you and I would like to know if you want to be my girlfriends. That had made the girls happy and they smiled afterwards. Seraffal Twilight Gold happy. Yes we want to be your girlfriends. So the girls would hug me tightly and then each give me a passionate kiss. Later. It's worth saying that when I told my family the news, they were literally happy, so they all congratulated me and saw that now I had given love a chance again. After a while it was time for dinner so we had dinner and then it was time to go to sleep. So I would lie down in my bed ready to sleep but the girls would lie down with me. Xenovia Serafall Twilight Goal. Can we sleep with you, darling? Of course yes why not. So we were ready to sleep. Rest girls. Xenovia Serafall Twilight Goal. Rest easy, darling. So the girls would fall asleep. While I was thinking. My thoughts. Now I have something else to fight for, I have to protect my family, but I will also protect the girls, no matter what I went through, since it is the duty of a hero. Out of my thoughts. So I would fall into a deep sleep again. What will happen next? What other adventures await our protagonist and his girls? Find out in the next chapter. Chapter 4. Strange Children. The Arrival of Muscular. Today we present. Strange Children. The Arrival of Muscular. 2 weeks had passed since what happened with the girls, and the truth is that I felt happy because I had finally found true love, but I also dedicated myself to patrolling the entire city, thus arresting criminals. Current events. I was with the girls walking until we welcome to the El Frutal shopping mall. So the girls would see the place and be surprised. Xenovia surprised. Woo, it looks amazing. Seraffal surprised. You're right, Xenovia-chan. Twilight surprised. It's also huge. Göll is surprised. It's incredible, I've never seen this type of place before, but seeing one for the first time is incredible. Well then come on, we can go eat some ice cream if you like. Xenovia Serafall Twilight Göll. Of course darling, we would love to. That's how we would enter, but Göll would be looking at a specific place, and it was the Cinepolis that is in the fruit orchard. Göll. And what is that place? Oh, it's a movie theater, it's the movie theater in my city. There you can see incredible movies, some in 3D. Xenovia. Amazing. Okay, come on, let's go get some ice cream. So the girls and I would start walking. Meanwhile. On the second floor where the entrance to Cinepolis is located. On a bench were 2 boys while the girl was standing watching them, and these boys were none other than Dabby and his sister Dana, and the other girl was none other than Eri-chan. Eri? You're okay guys, I see you a little sad. Dana? Yes we are fine Eri, we were just thinking. Dabby? Yeah, so don't worry. Eri? Okay. Dabby? Damn, it's hard to know where we are and people look at us very strangely. Dana? Yes, but I wonder if we've lost that giant guy who was looking for us. Eri? I think so, after all we got on that strange bus and no one saw us, that's the good thing. Dabby? But we still mustn't give up and we'll find out what this place is. Dana? That's right, no matter what happens, we'll make it. At that, the two would make their respective victory pose. Dabby Dana. We are the #1 team, we are the unmatched goblin team. Eri? Haha I like it when they do that presentation of theirs. Dabby? Well let's start searching all over this place, which now that I realize it looks like a shopping mall. Dana? You're right, but let's find out more about this place and don't leave our side, Eri. Eri? Okay thanks for taking care of me guys. So the 3 would begin to walk. Meanwhile. I was with the girls at one of the stands where they sold Sarita ice cream, so we approached and a lady would help us. Ma'am. Good afternoon, welcome to Sarita's ice cream shop. Tell me what can I offer you? Well, you girls first, what do you want? Xenovia Serafall Twilight Göll. Whatever you ask for, darling. So what do you think about some snow? Xenovia Serafall. Well, we would like some lemon snow. And you, Göll and Twilight. Göll. Well, I would like an orange-flavored snowfall. Twilight. I would like a grape-flavored snowfall. Well miss, I think you've heard them before and I'd like a grape-flavored snow cone. Lady. Okay, fine. So they would give us the snowfall with you and soda so I would pay and then we would leave. But minutes later Dabby and Dana would arrive and Eri would see the food place. Dabby. Well, as far as I understand, this is the place where people can sit and eat food from some of these places. Dana. So let's find out here. Eri. Maybe we can go that way. And that Eri would be pointing to a path. Dabby. Let's go then. So the 3 of them would start walking seeing a place where there were some holes where water came out. Eri. Look at this place, it's amazing and beautiful how the water jets come out. Dabby and Dana would be looking around the place with curiosity. Dabby. It seems that in this place the water comes out of those holes. Dana. Also, look, there are seats where people can sit and watch the show. Eri. It's true, wait a minute, Dabby, where are you going? At that moment, Dabby would be approaching the shore, but he would fall. Dana worried. Dabby are you okay? Eri. Nothing bad happened to you? Dabby. Don't worry, I'm fine, but the funny thing is that these things don't seem to be draining water anymore. But in that Dabby would be wet so getting angry. Angry Dabby. What the heck, who did it? But again Dabby would get wet getting angrier. Dabby. Stop throwing water. At that point, Dana and Eri would go down to try to close the water valve, but the jets of water would be so strong that they would start to wet the 3 of them and they would only start to scream. Meanwhile. I was with the girls walking until we heard some screams. Twilight. What's going on there? Let's find out. So we would get to the area of the water jets and we would see Dabby and Dana and Eri being wet by the water jets. Xenovia worried. Those children are trapped. I was surprised to see them since I knew them, but then I would find the water valve like that, turning it off. Are you kids okay? Eri. Yes, thank you sir. Don't worry kids, after all that's what a hero does. Dabby. Well, thank you very much. At that the girls would approach seeing the boys. Worried Seraffal. Are you okay children? And Dana I would smile. Dana. Yes, we are fine thanks to him. Issei. By the way, what's your name? Issei. Oh right, my name is Josu Del Cid Sickle and these are my girlfriends Xenovia Serafall Leviathan, Twilight Sparkle, and Göll. Dabby. Nice to meet you, I'm Dabby and this is my sister Dana and this is Issei. But before the girls could say anything, an explosion would be heard near the streets, but in that I would see that it was none other than Muscular. I was surprised. No way dude. Xenovia. Definitely up to no good. But we would see that Dabby and Dana and Issei were scared. Scared Dabby. He found us. Dana scared. This is bad. Then I would see that the boys were very scared so we would hug them. Me. Girls, take care of protecting the children and the people. I'll take care of that big guy. Göll. Wait Joshua, I'll go with you. Me. Are you sure, Göll? I don't want anything bad to happen to you. Göll. Calm down, I'm strong, I'll be fine. Me. Okay, let's go. So we would be in front of Muscular. Muscular? But we have two heroes here. Me. Hey you unhappy, why do you come to my city to cause havoc? Muscular. Well I'm looking for 3 brats that I followed here so tell me where they are. Göll. We don't know, but if we did, we'd never tell you. Muscular. Well then they will die. This way, Muscular strength would increase in a very sinister way. Me. Damn, it's going to be really hard to face it, but we can't give up. Göll. Then let's do it. So we would start fighting against Muscle. It was a little difficult, but little by little we were gaining the advantage. Meanwhile, the girls were protecting the people and the children. Dabby. Will they be okay? Xenovia. We know our boyfriend very well and Göll. Seraffal. And we know they will not be easily defeated. Back with us. Muscular no longer had any strength left because Göll had stuck a knife into Muscular's ribs. Me. You won't touch those children or anyone else. So I would jump and then scream. Yo. Manchester smash. This way he would be able to destroy Muscular, destroying his skull so that it would disappear into ashes. But before I fell to the ground, Göll would catch me. Göll worried. Are you okay, love? Me exhausted. Yes but I'm very tired. Göll. Don't worry, I'll carry you. That's how we would arrive and everyone would applaud us, thanking us for saving them. Later. Dabby. And what will happen to us? Issei. It's true we have nowhere to go. Me. Don't worry about that, you can come live at my house. I would never leave children on the streets. Dana. Are you really going to let us stay with you and the girls? Me. Of course. Xenovia. Also, Joshua's mother will be pleased to receive them. Seraffal. If they can also get along with Joshua's little sister. Me. And what do they say they accept? Dabby Dana. Of course we do. At that, Issei would hug me tightly and then smile. Issei. Thank you so much Josu and girls for giving us a home. Me. You're welcome. Xenovia Serafall Twilight Göll. Also you are very adorable. So the girls would hug Issei and Dana. Dabby. And where am I? Me. Come here. So I would hug Dabby and the girls would join in the hug too. Me. Well, let's go home quickly. My father and my little sister should be waiting for us. Twilight. Also, your mom should be home from work. Göll. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go home. Everyone. See. So the girls and I would go together with Dabby, Dana and Issei. What will happen now? What new adventures await our protagonist with the girls now that Dabby, Dana and Issei are here? Will another Izuku villain appear? Find out in the next chapter. Chapter 5. The Hero Killer Stain. The next day. I got out of bed obviously without waking the girls up and then went to my terrace, thus starting to train. After a lot of training I had finished and I would be on the floor tired. Me. Damn, the training is difficult but I still don't plan on giving up. I'll keep training to be a good hero. So then I would go make breakfast for my girls and also for my little sister and the boys. After a while everyone would wake up like this having breakfast. Later. We were in the park. While I was training the girls were playing with Dabby and Dana and Issei. Dabby. Hey, I have a question. Xenovia. And what's your question, Dabby? Dabby. Well, why does Joshua train so much? I don't understand. Can't he even take a break? Seraffal. You see, Josu-chan likes to train a lot, not that much, but he does like to train. Twilight. When we met him we thought he would be someone bad, but then we discovered that he is not because he has a big heart and is kind. Göll. And he trains to be able to protect what he loves, like us or his family. Xenovia. And you are also something that Joshua is willing to protect. Issei. Joshua reminds me of my father. Dana. Your father? You never mentioned anything to us about your father. Twilight. Can you tell us? Eerie. Well, my father was a great person, he always cared about me and always looked after me, even giving his life to achieve it until that day my father went on an important mission, but unfortunately he died, and since then I was alone. Eerie would be a little sad, but Dana would hug her tightly and then smile. Dana. Don't be sad, you're not alone. You're with us now, so nothing will happen to you as long as we're together. Xenovia. Dana is right, you are not alone, you have us and our love too. Seraffal. So take off that sad face and give your best smile he. So Eerie would smile, and then the girls and Dana and Dabby would hug her. I would get closer to that. And tell me, do you want to eat ice cream? All. Of course. So I would take everyone to get some ice cream and then go back to the house so we could all watch a movie. Later. At night. I would be relaxing on the terrace with the girls and boys watching the stars, although my dogs were asleep. And that one there is the Great Bear. Dabby. What is the Big Dipper? Xenovia. The Big Dipper is a star that guides people who are lost, it's like a guiding star. Seraffal. Wow, she's very pretty. Bull. I've never done this in my life. Normally, I just thought about everything that would happen to me if humans lost Ragnarok. Twilight. Well, you don't have to worry about that anymore, Ghoul. Dana. I have a question. Eerie. And what is this doubt of yours about? Dana. Is it true that constellations exist? Of course, if you can calculate the angle of each star well, you can form one or another constellation. Eerie. Wow, the stars are very beautiful. But before anyone said anything else. The woman's scream had frightened us. Scared Xenovia. What the hell was that? Seraffal was frightened. She sounded like a woman in danger. Kid stay here, me and the girls will go out and Eerie go and tell my parents and sisters not to go out. Eerie. Okay. So we would jump arriving at the street thus approaching the next block and so I would see none other than Stain the hero killer. But he had a dead woman in his hands. Stain. Wow, it seems I have viewers, that surprises me, plus one has a gift that also surprises me, so they will be my new prey. Twilight scared. She saw us. So Stain would go at maximum speed to attack us, but luckily we dodged him. Bull is scared. He must be some kind of serial killer like Jack the Ripper. Seraphim scared. Her aura emanates great evil. We have to stop him. So he would quickly activate One for All, thus going to attack Stain, thus managing to hit him several times. He would be somewhat surprised to see that I was able to hit him. Stain. Not bad Brad, but still you got too confident. So Stain would show one of his knives that had some of my blood on it. I was scared. But how? So I would see that I had a small cut on my arm and if Stain licked my blood my arm would remain immobilized. Me in pain. Xenovia Serafall Twilight Göll worried. Honey. So the girls would approach me. Worried Seraffal. Are you okay? I was in pain. If only he left my arm immobilized. Xenovia worried. But how is it possible? I'm in pain. Apparently his power is that when he licks the blood of his victims he leaves them immobile. Be careful against that guy and don't let him cut you and give me time to recover. Twilight. It's okay, don't worry, we won't let that guy beat us. So quickly the girls would go on the attack while Xenovia using Durandal had a sword duel against Stain. The girls hit him obviously being careful not to get cut. Abby and Dana who were watching everything would just smile. Abby. The girls are doing it, they're putting that guy on the ropes. Dana. Even though he's a murderer, he also has a disadvantage and that is that every villain must have a weak point. Abby. You're right, let's just hope Joshua's arm recovers. Back to the fight. The girls continued fighting against Stain while I thought about how the hell to move my arm until. I got it. I would hit my arm with a car and out of nowhere I could move my arm. Oh yeez hold on my loves. So I would launch into the attack, managing to land a strong punch on Stain. Xenovia. Joshua and your arm. Don't worry, it was just a matter of hitting myself so my arm would react. At that Stain would get up very angry. Stain. You unhappy son of a bitch, now you'll see what happens to you when you mess with me. So Stain would launch an attack and we would start fighting him, obviously being careful not to get cut. While I was hitting Stain with punches and kicks, the girls were also helping me until I jumped a lot and then screamed. Yo. Manchester smash. So he would kick Stain in the head and then Göll would punch him, but Stain would cut him on the arm. Bolasistada. Oh, no. So Stain using his ability would leave Göll on the ground unable to move. Stain. Now you'll see what happens when you mess with someone like me. So Stain was going to decapitate Göll at maximum speed, but I managed to deflect the cut, but I received the cut myself, but luckily it was on my arm. Me in pain. Göll, are you okay? Göll. Yes, I'm fine, but I can't move. I'm in pain. You rest, I'll take care of the rest. So I would attack Stain and then kick him to heaven. Me. Girls now. So Twilight and Seraffal would launch a magical attack that would hit Stain, and then Xenovia would cut him into 1,000 pieces. So we had finally defeated Stain. So Göll would move and then give us all a big hug, but the girls would give me a tender and loving kiss, and I would reciprocate. Later. I was sleeping peacefully until I noticed that Göll wasn't in bed, so I would get up and check the time and see that it was 12:30 in the morning. So I would get up and then go to the terrace to see Göll, but he seemed sad. Me. Göll, are you okay? Göll sad. Not much. Me. What's wrong? I don't normally see you this sad. Sad Göll. It's just that I feel useless since I can't help much, besides in Ragnarok I could never help with anything, I could only watch as my sisters died one by one, and it bothered me, and I don't want to lose you or the girls or the boys, you are the only thing I have, that's why I don't want to lose you. Göll would start crying, but I would give her a hug to comfort her, and then think until I came up with an idea that would stop me from hugging Göll. He would just look at the stars and the moon in a sad way. Me. Göll, I know it hurts you that you lost your sisters, but you don't have to worry. You will never lose me, the girls, or the boys. Besides, I love you and the girls, and you know that. Besides, together we are strong, and no one can stand against the power of unity. Sad Göll. I guess you're right, but I still miss my sisters, I really do. Göll would continue to see the stars in a sad way until. Me singing. You who are sad. At that, Göll would turn around and see me. Me singing. Don't be discouraged. I would put myself on Göll's side in that regard. Me singing. I understand you, it's not easy to be strong, among all the people you think you won't make it, doubt tells you you're going to fail. Then he would grab Göll's hand, while some clinking sounds could be heard until they stopped. We were in the middle of the terrace. Me singing. Laugh with me. In that, Göll would still be sad. Me singing. No more sadness, I have forgotten now. This is how I would wipe Göll's tears. Me singing. Your sweet smile, if the world overwhelms you. Göll would smile sweetly. Me singing. And you can't stand it anymore, go find me, I'll always be there. At that moment, several lights would turn on around the terrace. Me singing. Your true colors, I see them shine. Göll would see everything and want to cry. Me singing. When I see your colors I know I love you. At that, Göll would turn around while clutching his chest and begin to approach. Göll singing. Don't be afraid, in the end. In that we would both hold hands, interlacing our fingers. Me Göll singing. The days are longer. At that, we would both put our foreheads together. Me Göll singing. Your colors real, how beautiful they are. So the two of us would start dancing. Me singing. Real colors, I see shine. But I wouldn't notice that Xenovia, Seraph, Twilight and the kids were looking at us with a smile. Me Göll singing. Seeing your colors I know I love you. And that we would turn around. Me Göll singing. Don't be afraid, for at last the days are longer. At that point we would begin to float with a levitation quirk. Me Göll singing. Your colors real, how beautiful they are. Then we would slowly lower ourselves to the ground and touch our foreheads together. Me singing. Rainbow. Göll singing. Oh 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 of rainbows. We would then hear someone playing a harmonica and see that it was Dana with a smile. Accompanied by Dabby and Eerie and the girls, everyone would come up to me and hug me tightly, you Göll, and Dana would finish playing the harmonica. So we would all be looking at the beautiful moon. What happens next? Find out in the next chapter. Chapter 6. One almost quiet day, Eerie disappears. Previously, our protagonist and his girls faced Stain, the hero killer, and managed to defeat him with difficulty. However, our protagonist had to cheer Göll up, which he succeeded in doing. What will happen now? Find out. Hit the intro. Chapter introduction music. Today we present. One almost quiet day, Eerie disappears. Several weeks passed after what happened in the previous chapter, and our protagonists continued to live adventures, such as now our protagonist had his own YouTube channel. Current events. Our protagonist Josu Del Cid Sickle was still asleep because he wanted to take a day off without having to train or face criminals. Xenovia. He looks very tired. Seraffal. Haha, how could I not be? After all, we've been fighting criminals for several weeks now. Twilight. Hey, what if we take care of the work ourselves? Göll. Sounds like a good idea, what do you say? Xenovia. I like it. Seraffal. Me too, but who will take care of Eerie, Dana, and Dabby? Twilight. I think that's the only job Joshua can do. That's what I would wake up to. Me? What? What do I have to do? Xenovia. You just have to take care of the kids while we take care of your hero work. Seraffal. Does Josu-chan seem okay to you? Me. Okay, fine. Later. I was taking care of Dabby and Dana while Eri was asleep. Me. Listen, tell me, what do you want to do? Dabby. I don't know, anything will be fun. Dana. Yes, that's true. Well, Eri would wake up like this approaching. Eri. Good morning. Me. Oh, good morning, Eri-chan. Dana. Hey, Eri, are you ready to have fun? Eri. Yes, but where will we go? Me. I don't know yet, but I think I know where we can go. Later. I had taken the children to a park so I would be watching them. Me. Wow, he asked me if when I have children I will be a good father, although the truth is I don't know if I'm ready for a big responsibility like that. But Eri was talking with Dabby and Dana. Eri. And they liked the idea. Dabby. I just hope it didn't end badly. Dana. I hope so too. At that point Eri would go hide while Dabby and Dana continued playing. I was calm until some people approached me. Person 1. Hey, you're the guy who has the power of one for all, right? Me. Yeah, sure, why the question? Person 2. We wanted to ask you if we could take a picture with you. Me. Okay, no problem. This is how I would take the photo with the people and they would leave. Me. Okay guys, it's time to go. But then I would see that Eri wasn't there. Me. Hey, what about Eri-chan? Abby. Wasn't I with you? Dana. Since he told us he was going to tell you something. Me scared. Eri-chan got lost. So I would quickly grab Dabby and Dana and start running away from the park. At that Eri would come out of hiding. Eri. Heh, it seems the joke worked on me. At that point, Eri would sit on a bench while watching the other children play. Eri. Okay, time to try to make a great drawing. So Eri would take out a notebook while he started to draw all the children playing in the park. Meanwhile. The girls had arrived home although they were somewhat tired. Twilight tired. Now I understand why Joshua gets tired of all this. Tired Xenovia. You don't even have to say it, this is exhausting. But that I would quickly enter the house. Me. Oh, girls are here, ask have you seen Eri? Seraffal. Wasn't he with you? Me. She was there but I didn't find her in the park. I thought she had somehow gotten back home. The girls were scared when they heard that. Xenovia Serafall Twilight y Göll. Eri got lost. So we would all leave the house and start looking for Eri like crazy all over the road and all the places she could have gone. Meanwhile with Eri. She was in the park quietly while remembering good times with Izuku. Eri. I really miss Dad, but I know that at least he will always be by my side, well, I better go home. At that Eri was about to use a magic circle but at that. Ouch. Eri would turn around seeing that a girl had fallen so she would quickly approach. Eri. Excuse me, are you okay? Nervous girl. Yeah, sure, I'm fine, I'm just a little clumsy. At that, Eri would hand the girl her notebook and her glasses. Eri. Wow, it seems you have stage fright. Eri would say it while looking at the girl. Girl. Haha, it seems that you noticed, little one, and I do suffer from stage fright. Eri. You shouldn't be ashamed, besides, it's normal for some people to have stage fright. By the way, I'm Eri, and you? Girl. Oh haha, this is me, Himiko Agari, nice to meet you, Eri. But the one already identified as Himiko Agari would see that Eri was alone. Himiko. Hey Eri, don't you have a father or someone who is taking care of you? Eri. Yes, but I made a little joke, but I was actually about to leave when I saw you. Himiko. Well, a girl like you shouldn't be alone, so I'll take you to your family. But in that. Seraffal. Eri-chan. At that, both of them would turn around and look at Seraphim. Seraffal tired. You're here, we were looking for you, where you went? Eri. Oh haha, seems like my little joke got out of control. Himiko. Are you his mom? Seraffal. You could say yes haha, but I thank you for finding Eri. Himiko. I was actually going to take her home, but you can take her, I have to go home, see you Eri. Eri. Goodbye Himiko Agari. So Himiko would leave, but she was somewhat thoughtful. Himiko's thoughts. Himiko. That girl looks familiar to me, well it's better not to think about that. Out of your thoughts. Later. Seraffal had arrived with little Eri so she would hug Eri tightly. Me. Don't scare me like that again, Eri. Eri. Sorry, it was just a little joke. At that I would smile. Me. Well, dinner is almost here, so how about watching a movie? All? Yes. So we would watch a movie while we waited for my family to get home. Meanwhile. Himiko had arrived home and then lay down on her bed. Himiko. How tiring this day was, besides, I'm surprised that Eri knew that I have stage fright, no one else can notice that. At that point Himiko would start looking for something in her furniture, finding what was a photo. Himiko. I really miss him, I haven't seen him since he left to study in the morning, he asked me how he's been. At that Himiko would smile as she looked at the photo. Himiko. Sooner or later I hope to see you again my best friend Joshua. Himiko would say it while tightly hugging a photo of me that she had. Himiko. The truth is that he is the only one who could understand me, just like our other friend, but he still means a lot to me. Flashback. It was the beginning of a school year and among the first grade students was Himiko. Teacher. You may very well introduce yourself. At that Himiko would get up. Himiko nervous. Nice to meet you, I'm Himiko Agari. Girl. Haha Himiko relax you are very nervous. Teacher. Very well, it's your turn to introduce yourself. At that someone would stand up and it was me. Nice to meet you, my name is Josu del Cid Sickle and I hope we can get along very well. And so the first weeks of the new school year would pass. Himiko is now seen in a library. Himiko. Oh here's the new volume finally. So Himiko would grab a book. Himiko narrates. My name is Himiko Agari. I am a very nervous person. The truth is that I suffer from stage fright. I can't do anything if someone is watching me. And right now I am being watched by my schoolmate, Josu del Cid Sickle. Normal narration. Himiko was dropping several books so she would notice while I hid. At that Himiko would notice that I hid. Himiko. On the other hand, Joshua is someone incredible, maybe he is not someone popular, but he is a great guy, he always helps whoever needs it and he always looks for a way to cheer people up. Once I saw him calm down a girl because the poor girl was scared of a street dog. He also always lifts the group spirits. He is also someone nice, but sometimes he has nervous problems, not as much as me, but it seems that he has a hard time talking to a girl. At that moment Himiko was moving like crazy while I watched her. Himiko excited. The more I think about him, the more I see how amazing he is. But at that Himiko would put on a sad face. Himiko sad. On the other hand, I don't have a pretty face or anything like that, plus I have short legs and to top it all off, I have chubby cheeks. At that Himiko would get nervous. Himiko is nervous. So why is Joshua watching me now? I'm scared of you. Being like this for so long already makes my stomach hurt. On that. Himiko are you okay? And that Himiko would see me getting nervous like that. Himiko nervous. Yes I'm okay I say no, I'm not okay at all damn. I was just surprised and Himiko would realize what she said and blush super hard. Himiko's thoughts. Himiko nervous. Am I stupid why did I say that word do I have poop in my brain or what? Out of your thoughts. Himiko super nervous. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. Wow calm down Himiko there's nothing wrong with it. Himiko. Really? Yes, even those words escape me, but well, I wanted to tell you, sorry if I scared you, it's just that I'm surprised you like to read. Himiko. Do you like to read too? At that I would smile. Of course I love reading, not that much, but I like reading. Himiko. Wow, I didn't know that. Himiko, I wanted to ask you something. Would you like to be my friend? The truth is, I'd like to have a friend like you. At that Himiko would smile. Himiko. Do you really want to be my friend? Of course we are similar in some ways, so tell me, will you accept being my friend? So I would extend my hand to lift Himiko up and I would grab it so I would lift Himiko up. Himiko. Yes, I want to be your friend. End of flashback. Himiko would lie down on her bed after taking a bath and changing. Himiko. I still don't understand how it's possible that you were rejected 3 times. Any girl would have liked you to be her boyfriend, but I would appreciate you being my boyfriend. Himiko would only blush at what he said and then fall deeply asleep. What happens next? Find out in the next chapter. Chapter 7. My best friends appear. Previously, little Eri had played a little prank on our protagonist, which got a little out of hand. Eri also met a girl named Himiko Agari who suffers from stage fright, but she didn't know she was our protagonist's friend. What will happen now? Find out. Hit the intro. Chapter introduction music. The day we present. My best friends show up. It was a new day for me and the girls. I really didn't expect anything interesting to happen. I just wanted to sleep peacefully. But I wasn't the only one because Seraffal was also sleeping with me, but she was hugging me as if I were a stuffed animal. Xenovia. Haha it seems that Seraffal hasn't changed. Twilight. If she hugs Joshua like her life depends on it. Lol. Just like us. Xenovia. Okay, let's let them keep sleeping. So the girls would leave the room while Seraffal and I continued sleeping peacefully. A few minutes later Seraffal would begin to wake up and then stretch. Seraffal. What a beautiful day. At that moment, Seraphim would see that I was still asleep and she would come closer to my ear. Seraphal whispering. Joshua-chan. The sun has risen, it's time to get up. Be asleep. 5 more minutes please Era-chan, I'm sleepy. Seraphal whispering. Come on, get up, remember that today we will go for a walk, you promised. That's when I would wake up. It's true, I promised and I don't break a promise. At that Seraphic would kiss me on the lips. Seraphal. Good morning I forgot to say it. Haha don't worry, I also forget to say that and tell me what you think if we go out for breakfast. Seraphal. Sounds good to me. Later. I had taken the girls and boys to my school because I hadn't visited the school for a long time due to the pandemic. I hate having to wear this thing called a mask. Me too, but measures are necessary. So we would enter and apparently it was class time since the afternoon students were already here. Xenovia surprised. It's huge. Seraphal. One question, your kind doesn't come here. Technically no, well if we come here if they tell us but not at the moment. Wow, just wow. Twilight. We'll go see what everything looks like from above. So the girls would fly off towards the ceiling. Abby. And what else is here? Well there is a cafeteria. Dana. Oh can we go eat something please? Sure, I'll catch up with you in a few moments. So I would give money to Erie, Dana and Dabby so they would run to the cafeteria. I would sit on a bench for that. It's been a long time since I came here in the afternoons, it feels strange after all now I study in the mornings. On that. Hey how are you? At that moment I would turn around and see a girl that I would instantly recognize. Be surprised. What the buck? Are you stupid? Girl. Wow, it's been a long time, Najimi Asuna. You forget your friend so quickly. Josuicito. I didn't expect to see you again. And that we would both sit on the bench. Najimi. By the way, what about those children coming towards us? This is how Erie, Dana and Dabby would arrive. Erie? Who is she? Oh right, I want to introduce you to an old friend. She is Najimi Asuna. At that Najimi would make a great greeting. Najimi. Kaonda. We went to the same high school together, her gender is unknown, she's an inconsistent person and a bit of a myth, but that works for her. Dana confused. But if his gender is unknown then why does he wear girl clothes? At that point I realized that Najimi was wearing the girl's uniform. Me confused. Why? Why are you wearing a skirt? Then he saw Najimi Sonraria. Najimi. Well, because I'm a girl, there's no way I'm a man, right? Me. Don't be a liar, I remember very well, you and I literally wore the same uniform. Najimi. No in serio? Of course. Abby. This is a little awkward. Erie. Don't even mention it. At that point my phone would start ringing. Give me a minute. This is how I would answer the call. Xenovia what's going on? Xenovia. Well, we're still here on the roof and we just saw some patrols in the distance, so we have to go. Well I guess the day off will have to wait. Xenovia. But what will happen to the children? Don't worry, I already know the perfect babysitter. I'll see you in a few minutes. So I would hang up the call and then approach Najimi. Hey Asuna, I need to ask you a favor. Najimi. A favor? Of course you know I'd do anything for you, friend. Najimi would say it with a noticeable blush and moving in a strange way. Najimi blushed. Tell me, do you want to satisfy your Highschool needs with my body? Stop messing around, I'm not that type and you know it. Najimi. Okay, what's the favor? You take care of the children while I go run a little errand, right kids? At that I would wink at the children and they would understand what I was talking about. Hey Asuna, come here, I want to talk to you. Najimi. Simon. At that point we would both be sitting in a remote place. Najimi. I don't know when you saw me with a nanny face, but how important is your errand? Very important, but I don't want the children to be left alone, since it is my responsibility to take care of them. Najimi. Are you going to see a girl? Not exactly, besides I haven't had time for things like love. My thoughts. Obviously I can't tell him or her that I have 4 partners, he or she would go crazy, damn, not knowing their gender confuses me. Out of your thoughts. At that Najimi would be blushing and there were hearts in her eyes. Najimi blushed. You are so cute and so tender that it made me wet. Sorry. At that Najimi would get up. Najimi. Well, I'll take care of the children. You go do what you have to do. I understood that reference. Najimi. But first, one condition. Which one is it? Najimi. I want you to call me Najimi like before when we studied together. Me? Okay, fine, well, I have to go. Najimi. Well, before you go, one more thing. At that point, Najimi would approach me and then kiss me on the cheek, leaving me confused. Me? And why is that? Najimi. I don't know, for good luck. Me? Well, thanks, I'll come back later. That's how I would leave school. Eerie? And what will we do, Miss Asuna? Najimi confused. How? Did you guys notice? Dana? Well, as we saw, only a girl would do what you did, so technically you are a girl. Najimi. Since I was discovered. Abby? We can go to the cafeteria. Najimi. Well, there's almost time for break, so we'll go to the cafeteria. Meanwhile. I was on the roof of the school in my hero costume that I made myself. We. Okay, it's time, let's go. Xenovia Serafall Twilight y Göll. We follow you, darling. So we would get out of there jumping and flying through the houses. But someone had seen us, and it was none other than Himiko Agari who was smiling. Himiko? So the news didn't literally lie. Joshua is a superhero and is accompanied by an I'm girls. No wonder the girl who took Eri away seemed familiar to me. At that, Himiko would shake her head. Himiko? I have to tell Najimi, he has to know. So quickly Himiko would enter school. Meanwhile. It was time for recess, so all the students would go to the cafeteria and Najimi would take the children with her. Najimi. Well, I'll buy you some gummies. I hope you like them. But in that, Himiko would crash into Najimi, causing both of them to fall. Himiko nervous. Sorry Najimi, it's just that I was in a hurry looking for you and… Eri? Oh, hello Himiko, nice to meet you. At that, Himiko would smile. Himiko. Oh, Eri, it's a pleasure to meet you, and who are they? Abby. I'm Dabby and this is my sister Dana. Dana. Nice to meet you. Himiko. But what are you doing here? Himiko would say it while helping Najimi to get up and she would smile. Najimi. Thanks for the help, friend, but in response to your question, Joshua asked me to take care of them while he went to run an errand. Himiko surprised. What? Joshua was here? Najimi. Yes, and he asked me to take care of these little ones. Himiko. Let's buy our lunch. I have to tell you something important. Najimi. Okay, fine, come kids, I'll buy you your gummies. 12 seconds later. The 5 of them were sitting at a table while eating. Najimi. Ah, nothing better than eating a hamburger for lunch. Himiko. If you eat a lot of junk food you might gain weight, you know. Najimi. Hey, I also eat healthy food, but anyway, tell me what you wanted to tell me. Himiko. Come closer. So Himiko would whisper something to Najimi and then both would separate, but Najimi would start to laugh and after a few seconds she would calm down. Najimi. I'm sorry, but it's hard to believe what you told me about Joshua. Himiko. You don't believe me? Then check out this news. So Himiko would show Najimi several videos and news about my battle against the Nomu, how me and the girls stop criminals and everything, and during those times I still didn't have a mask. Himiko. Do you believe me now? Himiko would say it while looking at Najimi, who had a face of what the buck total. Najimi surprised. Yes, I believe you. Later. It was time to leave and the ones left were Himiko and Najimi, who were carrying Dabby and Dana since they had fallen asleep. Najimi. He's already late and he told me he'd arrive. And that I would appear together with the girls although we were tired. I'm tired. Sorry for the delay, is that? Najimi. Let me guess, you were stopping some robbers who robbed the bank. Me. How the hell is that? Himiko. Sorry, haha, it was me. And that I would see Himiko smiling like that. Me. Long time no see, Himiko. At that, Himiko would smile. Himiko nervous. Haha, it's been a long time and I'm surprised that you're a hero and that they're accompanying you. Xenovia. Hey honey, who are they? Himiko. Najimi surprised. Did he say honey? Me nervous. Haha, long story but well, Xenovia, Serafall, Twilight and Göll, I present to you my friends Himiko Agari and Najimi Asuna, well, although her gender is unknown. Xenovia Serafall Twilight y Göll. Nice to meet you. Najimi. The pleasure is ours, by the way, don't worry Joshua, your identity and theirs are safe, but with one small condition. Which one? Najimi. You and them can come to the party we're hosting at one of our classmates' houses. I was surprised. How? Xenovia Serafall Twilight y Göll surprised. So we have to go to that party. Then Issei Najimi Sonraria. Najimi. Obviously microbes. Well, okay, I'll go. After all, I think that now that I'm 17 I can go to a party. What do you say, girls? Xenovia. I'll go. Seraffal. Me too. Twilight y Göll. Us too. Well, you, Dabby and Dana will have to stay with my family, okay? Eri. Okay, that's fine. That's how I would grab Dabby and Dana. Najimi. I'll send you the address to meet up. Himiko. See you later. Ball. Goodbye. So I would go together with the girls and boys. What will happen next? What will the party be like? Find out in the next chapter. Chapter 8. Let the party begin. Previously, we met another friend of our protagonist, Najimi Asuna, who is also with Himiko Agari. They discovered our protagonist's identity. Well, rather, Himiko did it, but the secret will be kept safe. Najimi made it a condition that our protagonist and the girls go to a party with them, accepting since this would be our protagonist's first party. What will happen now? Find out. Hit the intro. Chapter introduction music. The day we present. Let the party begin. Finally it was time to meet up with Najimi and Himiko, although I was nervous since it was my first party I was attending. Xenovia, are you okay Joshua? I see you're nervous. I'm nervous. Well, it's the first party I've attended and the truth is I'm nervous. At that Xenovia would hug me tightly. Xenovia. Calm down, the truth is that the girls and I are nervous, since it's the first party we're attending in this world, we're nervous. Haha then I'm not the only one. Xenovia. Well I'll go get dressed, you go and get ready. So Xenovia would leave and I would go take a quick bath. Minutes later. The girls were already ready, they were just waiting for me. Mom. Girls, take care of him. The truth is, I don't want anything bad to happen to him, even if he can defend himself. Xenovia. Don't worry, Joshua always takes care of us. Seraffal. So we'll take care of him. Twilight y Göll. So trust us Then I would leave my room and see that it was ready. And how do I look? Xenovia Serafall Twilight y Göll. You look very pretty, darling. Haha thanks well we have to go. Mom. Take care, my son. I'll do it, Mom. Later. We were waiting for Najimi and Himiko to arrive, but that's it. Najimi. Hello, the one you were crying for is here, friends. At that we would turn around seeing that Najimi and Himiko were there. You took too long. Najimi. There it was just a little delay. Himiko. Wow, they look amazing. Xenovia. You too. Najimi. By the way, they owe us a lot of explanations, especially your Josu. I'll tell you later, but for now we're going to the party. So after several hours of walking and explaining everything that had happened to me and leaving Najimi and Himiko surprised. Najimi. So you basically have one for all, and they know their lives were lies. Basically yes. Himiko. What you've told is impressive. Well, literally yes. Xenovia. Is this where the party is? Xenovia would say it while we were looking at the house of the friend who would have the party. I was surprised. Whoa, this is like a rich man's house. Najimi. Well, we'd better go inside. At that Najimi would smile and then suddenly open the door. Najimi. The one who was crying for the soul of the party and Josuito has arrived. No, thank you. Part of Najimi's group already knew me because they knew about me when I was in the afternoon classes. Everyone. Hello. Seems like they know me here. Najimi. You're not a popular person, but you're known for lifting everyone's spirits Wow, that explains a lot. Najimi. Well who's ready for the party? All. Party, 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 party. That's how the party would begin and we would all start having fun, having a good time and eating a little until someone would bring out a case of beer. I was surprised. Really? Xenovia Serafall nervous. We have never drunk alcohol. Twilight y Göll nervous. Neither are we. Nervous me? Not me at all. Himiko nervous. Well, I've tried the wine. Najimi. Come on, cheer up and you too, Joshua, you can at least drink just one. I would be thinking about it just like the girls and Himiko and then accept and grab a beer each. Cheers to this amazing party ZM. All. Cheers is easy That's how the party would start but then I would see that they had karaoke. I think I know what I can do. Xenovia. That's a good idea, you sing very well, darling. Seraffal. So go all out. Twilight y Göll. You can do it. Thanks girls. Najimi. I'm going with you. Really? Najimi. Of course I love karaoke. Then let's go. So we would go to karaoke. DJ. Very good, those who will enter the karaoke are Najimi Asuna and Josu Del Cid Sickle. So everyone would scream with excitement. DJ. Very well, for this song you will have to use the piano and guitar. Well I've never played a piano, but I've seen tutorials. Najimi. Alright, Josuito, let's show what we're capable of. Let's go. DJ. And the chosen song is none other than I'm Still Standing, but the challenging thing is that they will have to sing it in Spanish. So we get them ready and so the song or rather the instrumental begins. And when it was over, everyone would applaud. Wow, we sure do have style. Jimmy. Exactly, but now let the party continue. So everyone would continue celebrating just like me and the girls, and the truth is we started to drink a little more, and the truth is I was already starting to get a little drunk just like the girls. Minutes later. Some were doing the bottle challenge while others were dancing, but the girls would be seeing that some were playing Just Dance. Tell me, would you like to see me dance the Just Dance? Xenovia Serafall Twilight y Göll. We would love to see you dance. Himiko. You can do it. Jimmy. Go and demonstrate the forbidden steps. With a salty taste. So I would go to the dance floor and select the song I wanted as well as the difficulty level. It's worth mentioning that everyone danced with me and I actually got tired because I could never overcome that level of difficulty in Just Dance. BJ. And that was Joshua Del Cid Sickle taking out the forbidden steps. Well, what did you think? Xenovia Serafall Twilight y Göll. You were amazing darling. Himiko. You really looked great. Jimmy. Not bad Josuicito but it's my turn. Good luck and demonstrate those forbidden steps Jimmy would just blush as he moved strangely again. Jimmy blushed. You make me blush, but I'll show you what I'm capable of. My thoughts. I don't understand if it's a man or a woman, literally her gender is unknown, but I'm starting to think she's a woman, but I'm not sure. Out of my thoughts. DJ. And next up is Najimi Asuna, the life of the party. So Najimi would come to the front and then choose his song and start dancing. Everyone was left with what the bug faces when they saw that Najimi was too good at dancing the forbidden steps and then everyone started screaming with excitement. Najimi. And how did I do? I was surprised. You definitely did very well. Xenovia. Well it's my turn I can do it. Go with all my love. Serafall Twilight y Göll. You can do it Xenovia. Najimi. Don't break your leg. Himiko. And good luck. DJ. And the next one to pass is Xenovia Quarta. So Xenovia would go to the dance floor and she would choose her song and then start dancing. Everyone would applaud with excitement because Xenovia danced very well. Me excited. Woo Ojuo that's one of my girls yees. DJ. Now it's Twilight Sparkle's turn. Everyone would scream with excitement, especially the girls, since Twilight has been their inspiration since they were children. It seems that Twilight continues to be recognized and will continue to be recognized. Seraffal. You don't even need to say it. Hired Xenovia. Wow, that was amazing, now let's see how Twilight does. You can Twilight go with everything. Twilight would just be impressed by the variety of songs. Twilight surprised. Wow there are too many songs okay calm down Twilight think. So Twilight would be thinking about which song to choose until. Twilight. I got it. So Twilight would choose her song and then start dancing. Everyone screamed with excitement but especially the girls who were screaming like crazy. Girls screaming. The princess of friendship is the best of all. Twilight would approach us. Twilight. And how did I do? Excellent. Xenovia Serafall Göll. You did great, my friend. At that Twilight would give me a passionate kiss and I would reciprocate. Najimi. Hey that's Oroma. DJ. Alright, let's take a break because it's time for the best birthday cake ever. So we would all go and then sing happy birthday and then we would all eat cake and then return to the dance floor. DJ. There are only 2 contestants left and now it's the turn of the magical girl Serafall Leviathan. So everyone would scream with excitement. Good luck love. Seraffal. Haha thanks Josu-chan. Xenovia Twilight y Göll. Shows the forbidden steps. Najimi. Don't break your leg. Himiko. And good luck. So Seraffal would go to the dance floor and then take a deep breath. Seraffal. Okay, here I go, I can do it. So Seraph would select his song and then start dancing. The screen would show that Seraffal had scored more than everyone else who danced to that song. DJ. It's official we have a new record. Everyone would scream with excitement and Seraffal would approach us. Seraffal. It was really fun haha. Well, it's my turn. Go all out, go all out. Xenovia Serafall Twilight. Show what you're capable of Najimi Himiko. And good luck and don't break a leg. DJ. And our last participant is Göll. So Göll would come to the front and then choose his song and start dancing. Everyone was surprised, even me and the girls, because Göll had obtained the highest score in Just Dance. DJ. And I can say that the winner is Göll. So we all started clapping and shouting with excitement and then continued the party. Just a few minutes later. I was already a little drunk, just like the girls, and then an idea came to me. I have a hiccup, an idea. Xenovia. Hiccup and what's that honey? You guys just follow me, and that's it hic. So I would grab a microphone and then tell DJ what to do with signs, and then I would start singing the next song together with the girls. So when the song ended the party would still be literally crazy. Then using a magic circle we would end up at Najimi's house and she and Himiko would fall asleep on the couch while the girls and I went to the guest room. Xenovia Serafall Twilight Göll drunk. Joshua darling please do it with us please. I was drunk but still got nervous, but in the end I ended up accepting. And so the night would end. What will happen now? What new adventures await our protagonist and the girls? Find out in the next chapter. Chapter 9. Protecting Eri, the sacrifice of. Previously, our protagonist and his girls attended a party that was incredible and they danced and sang like crazy. Basically, it's clear that not everything got out of hand, but at least our protagonist and his girls had a good time. What will happen now? Find out. Click on the new intro for this story. New opening for this story. Resolution. The Sword Art Online Alicization. War of Underworld Opening 1. Latin-Spanish cover. Singer. Danny Green. New introductory music for the chapter. Today we present. Protecting Eri, the sacrifice of. Several weeks had passed and during that time it seemed strange to me not to see any other villains from Class 1A, but I knew that sooner or later they would appear. Right now I was walking along with the girls and boys and even Najimi and Himiko were there. Najimi. And what should we do now? Well, I don't know, but I hope it's something fun. Himiko. But not crazy. Xenovia. How about we go to the park? Eri. I like the idea. Abby Dana. Us too. Seraffal. What do you say Joshua-chan? Well, that's fine. So we would all start walking, but Xenovia would stop dead in her tracks. Hey Xenovia-chan, are you okay? Xenovia surprised. Is this Presence? No, impossible, he must be dead. Seraffal. This presence is that of a fallen angel. At that moment, several spears of light would go towards us, but luckily we managed to dodge the attack. Kids, I want you to hide and the girls will take care of this. Dabby Dana. It's okay. Najimi and Himiko, I asked the children to hide where they can't be seen. Najimi Himiko. Entendido. So I would run like this in front of me and the girls would appear, none other than Gabriel. Gabriel. So the Male Leviathan and a night piece from the Gremory clan is my lucky day in addition to being accompanied by some strange girls and a human. Xenovia. Damn you should be dead. Gabriel. Well, I won't die until I complete my objective, so now one for all full flow. At 67%. So I would launch an attack together with the girls. Little by little Gabriel began to win against us because he was stronger than I imagined and he was also injured. At that moment, the girls and I were on the ground, but then Gabriel grabbed me by the neck. Gabriel. Give me Eri, you wretch. The target Chisaki gave me is the one who will look for that brat and 2 others. Wounded me. In your dreams I would tell you where they are. Najimi and Himiko and the children would listen to what Gabriel said. Eri scared. Not again, not again, not again, not again, not again, not again, I don't want to suffer again. Abby Dana is scared. Neither are we. Najimi. This is literally like Boku no Hero Academia if overhaul looks for Eri it's for something bad. Himiko. But why Dabby and Dana? Najimi. I have no idea, but according to what Josu Muscular told us, he was also looking for the 3 of them. But then the 5 of them would hear how Gabriel let me fall to the ground. Gabriel. If you don't tell me where Eri and those 2 are, then I'll kill you. At that Gabriel would create a spear of light. Eri scared. No 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 Joshua no no kill him. Najimi scared. Damn it we should do something Himiko Himiko where is she? Abby? I don't know. Back with me. Gabriel. Muri Humano. Xenovia Serafall Twilight Göll crying. No darling. I would just close my eyes waiting for my end, but I wouldn't feel anything and when I opened my eyes I was scared. Himiko was in front of me and she had been pierced by Gabriel's spear of light. The spear would disappear and Himiko would fall to the ground while blood flowed out. Yo asustado. Himiko. At that Himiko would smile as she touched my cheek. Himiko hurt. I never wanted to tell you this, but I will go happy knowing that you know I love you Joshua. So Himiko would close her eyes and stop breathing, I would just start crying just like the girls and boys. Gabriel. In this world, no matter what happens, humans are stupid, but now I'm going to tell you. But out of nowhere Gabriel exploded and died. On that. Give me Eri and the other 2. In that flame someone whom I hated would come out and it was none other than Kai Chisaki known as Overhaul. During that overhaul I would grab my hair and then get up. Overhaul. If you don't tell me where it is, I'll have to kill you. He would say it while his form changed. Overhaul. Now tell me where they are or you want to end up like that idiot. I would only look into a serious overhaul even if I am injured. Be hurt. I will never tell you, you made her suffer a lot, I will not allow you to do it again. At that overhaul would start screaming. Overhaul. Eerie. If you and those two can hear me, if you don't want this guy to die, then come out of hiding because if not, he'll die in 3, 2, 1. Overhaul was about to kill me, but that's it. Eerie crying. Enough. At that, Eerie would come out of her hiding place together with Dabby and Dana. Eerie crying. Don't hurt her dad please okay we'll go with you, but please don't kill anyone else. In that overhaul I would let go and I would walk to then grab Eerie and Dana and Dabby. Be hurt. Eerie-chan. At that, Eerie would look at me and then smile. Eerie crying. Keep smiling dad. So they would disappear and I would slowly lose consciousness until I became unconscious. 1 week later. I was in a bed bandaged in parts until I finally woke up seeing the girls next to me. Xenovia Serafall Twilight y Göll crying. Honey. So everyone would hug me tightly, luckily my wounds didn't hurt. Be sad. Girls forgive me I failed and that's why Eerie and Dana and Dabby have left. Xenovia. Don't blame yourself, darling, we feel the same way you do. Be sad. But because of me Himiko is dead and the worst thing is that I didn't know she felt that way about me. Seraffal. Wait honey Himiko is not dead, I revived her as a demon. At that moment someone would enter the room and it was Himiko who would smile when she saw me. Himiko. I'm glad you're okay now. I've been worried about you. At that I would get up and then hug Himiko while she cried. Me crying. Forgive me I'm so sorry because of me you were hurt please forgive me Himiko. At that Himiko would smile and then reciprocate the hug. Himiko. You don't have to be sad and of course he forgave you. At that Himiko would kiss me passionately surprising me, but I would reciprocate. Xenovia. Well Himiko is our friend so we can share you with her. Seraffal. And with someone else I turned into a demon. Twilight y Göll. And that's Najimi. I was surprised. How do you mean she accepted being a demon? On that. Najimi. Obvious microbe. At that I would turn around seeing Najimi with a smile. Then he kissed me passionately, surprising me even more, but I would reciprocate. Najimi blushed. I was always a girl, I just wanted you to be with that intrigue of my gender, he. At that I would smile. And don't worry, I accept them as my partners. So both of them would hug me tightly because I had accepted their feelings. Seraffal. By the way, Joshua-chan, we know where Overhaul took Eerie, Dana, and Dabby. And where are they? Xenovia. In Mexico. Twilight. During this past week we dedicated ourselves to training Himiko and Najimi in the use of magic and they achieved it in such a short time. I see, but how will we get to Mexico? Bull. Don't worry about that, your whole family contributed to get tickets, so we're leaving tomorrow. We have to be ready. Twilight. But the bad thing is that it will be impossible to know every place in Mexico. But at that I would smile because the light bulb went on for me. I know 2 people who can help us. So I would quickly make a call to 2 people I know from Mexico and whom I met through Wattpad. 2 days later. We had finally arrived in Mexico and had arrived at a hotel. Dad. Son, what are you planning to do? It'll be hard to get around the place. Mom. I don't want anything bad to happen to you either. Older sister. Besides, we don't know Mexico, how do you plan to find the kids and that guy? Me. Don't worry family, I already have my guides, I'll come back later, let's go girls. This is how we would leave the hotel and arrive at a shopping mall. Well, according to what they told me, this is where we have to meet. Najimi. And how do you know 2 people who live in Mexico? Let's just say Wattpad helped with that. And that's it. Well, finally we see each other face to face Joshua. Uambri it's a pleasure to meet you in person Josu. That's when I would turn around and see a fanfiction friend and another one who is also a follower of mine. Friend, playmaker, friend Jesus. I would say that seeing those already mentioned. Jesus. Wow, man, I never imagined you would come to Mexico and accompanied by them. Playmaker. By the way, who are they and how is it possible that they are here? Long story but I'll tell you. Minutes later. We were in the food court sitting at a table although Playmaker was surprised. Just like Jesus, since I had told them both everything I've experienced since my birthday until now. Playmaker. I never thought something like this had happened to you, besides being the new bearer of One for All, but in real life. Jesus. Literally this is not like fanfics. And now I came here since Overhaul has Issei and Dana and Dabby, and I need to rescue them. Xenovia Serafall Twilight y Göll. Could you help us? At that Jesus would smile. Jesus? Well, I'll help, friend. Playmaker. I support you too. Thanks friends. Najimi. And tell me Joshua, exactly how can those two help us? You'll know by now we have to go rest. What will happen now? What's our protagonist's plan to save Issei, Dana and Dabby? Find out in the next chapter. Give the new ending of this story. New ending for this story. Right here. Singer. Ashes remain. Chapter 10. The rescue begins. Goodbye Overhaul. Previously our protagonist together with the girls faced Kakabiel, which ended with Himiko's sacrifice, in addition to Kakabiel dying at the hands of Chisaki known as Overhaul, who took Issei and Dana and Dabby, but also after a week our protagonist accepted the feelings of Himiko and Najimi, because apart they had become demons and now being in Mexico, and with the help of two of his friends, our protagonist has to save Issei and Dana and Dabby. What will happen now? Find out. Hit the new intro. New introductory music for the chapter. Today we present. The rescue begins, so long Overhaul. The next day. Finally it was time to go to the rescue. I was ready as were the girls, so we would fly while Playmaker and Jesus spoke to us through walkie-talkies. Playmaker. Okay, sound check, can you hear us? Yes, I can hear them, but it's very windy around here. Jesus. By the way, your suit is amazing. Playmaker. Yes, it's true. Thank you. Xenovia. Look, we're getting closer. Seraffal. Let's go quickly then. Playmaker Jesus. Good luck to everyone. This way, communication would be cut off and we would be close to the place. Meanwhile. Overhaul was calm, doing nothing, just watching the children. Overhaul. Pretty soon everyone will see me as a hero instead of a villain. Abby. You think so? I don't think so. Dana. Besides, why do you want the world to see you as a true hero if you have fooled them? Overhaul. Say what you want, but I don't care. Issei was just sad because she was suffering again because of Overhaul. Overhaul. When I can finally create the gift drafts, the world will know what I'm capable of. But in that something would destroy the place where it was overhauled and thus be ejected. Issei. What was that? On that. Himiko. Issei-chan, Dabby and Dana. At that the three would look surprised that Himiko was alive, so after being untied the three would hug Himiko tightly. Issei crying. We thought you were dead. Himiko. I was dead, but Seraffal brought me back. That would lead to Najimi. Najimi. Okay kids, let's go Joshua and the girls will take care of the overhaul. So the five would run away. Meanwhile. Overhaul would wake up all angry. Angry Overhaul. Who was it? Come out of hiding. At that point we would come out of our hiding place. This time it will be different, we will beat you. Xenovia. And you'll pay for taking Issei and Dana and Dabby. Thus we would launch an attack against Overhaul, thus beginning to fight against him. Xenovia using Durandal cut off Overhaul's arms, but he would regenerate. On the other hand, Seraffal cast ice spells to freeze Overhaul and destroy him, but the spells didn't hit Overhaul. On Twilight's side, she cast several spells to make Overhaul float, but this didn't work. Göll was hitting Overhaul, but this didn't work either as Overhaul was resisting. This way we would all start to gain ground, but this would make Overhaul angry and change his shape. Be scared. Don't make things up. Overhaul. Damn. So Overhaul would start hitting us in a very brutal way, but I wasn't going to let him win easily. Girls give me a boost. So the girls would throw me at maximum speed and then I would scream. Detroit it's my ash. So with a strong Detroit smash he would be able to pierce through Overhaul's stomach, thus surprising him. At that I would fall to the ground tired, but the girls would approach me. Xenovia worried. Are you okay, honey? Hey yeah I'm fine. With the help of the girls I would get up and approach the overhaul. Seriously, how could you make a girl like Issei suffer? You didn't care about making her suffer and cry and using her as an object to create something. Answer. Overhaul injured. I'll just tell you this, people always believe anything no matter what I went through. So Overhaul would die and then disappear into particles. We won. So the girls would hug me tightly and then each give me a passionate kiss. Issei Dana Dabby. Dad, moms. So the kids would hug us tightly and me and the girls would also feel happy that the kids are safe and Najimi and Himiko would join in the hug. Najimi. It's not that I want this to end, but we have to leave if we don't want the Mexican police to see us as threats. All. Good idea. So we would all leave. Weeks passed and we decided to stay a little longer in Mexico because we wanted to get to know more about the country, especially me, since Mexico is my favorite country. How about we go out and fly a little? Najimi. Well, if you take us, yes. Minutes later. Najimi scared. This is not what I thought. Himiko scared. This is not the same as flying on our own. We. Just don't let go. Xenovia Serafall. Plus flying is fun. Twilight Göll. And super exciting. We would be flying like this, but then Najimi and Himiko would accidentally let go. Najimi Himiko scared. Oh, no. But luckily I caught them since they didn't want to use their wings. Minutes later. Najimi Himiko. Okay, we want to go down. So we would fall on a street near a light pole. They're fine. Najimi. Ah yes, we are fine, but next time we prefer to fly on our own. Himiko. Literally. Well then, a race back to the hotel. So I would climb the lamppost, but on a screen, a breaking news story would be shown. Presenter. We have a video related to what happened weeks ago that shows Kai Chisaki, known as Overhaul, moments before dying. The video may be disturbing. Overhaul. I don't know what's going on, but these heroes are crazy. I just wanted to get away and avoid something, but I don't have much time left. The girls and I were shocked when we saw the video. Presenter. This video was sent today to the Mexico City News Channel. Reporter. You've already seen, ladies and gentlemen, that these heroes were responsible for the brutal death of Overhaul, a hero who will go down in history as a great hero, but that's not all. We have some shocking news. The video would then be shown again. Overhaul. Those heroes are the name of those heroes. We were alert, but something inside me told me that what was going to happen was bad. Overhaul. The name of those heroes are Xenovia Serafall Leviathan, Twilight Göll and Josu del Cid Sickle. This is how an image of the girls without masks would be shown and finally an image of me. Xenovia Serafall Twilight Göll surprised. It can't be. I was surprised. What a face. What will happen now? What will people think now that they know your identity and that of your girls? Find out in the next chapter. Chapter 11. Act 1. Identity Problem. Today we present. Act 1 Identity Problem. I was surprised, I couldn't believe that they had revealed my identity and that of the girls. Reporter. That's right, friends, Josu del Cid Sickle, a 17-year-old student from Guatemala, is actually a murderer, along with the girls who accompany him. And that I would see that several people approached the girls and even Najimi and Himiko asking them several questions. At that point I would climb down the light pole while people told me that I killed Overhaul, in addition to being the cause of that destruction. We have to go. Xenovia Serafall Twilight Göll. And fast. So I would grab Najimi and Himiko, and using the black whips I would start swinging while I listened to the reporter tell me that I was public enemy number 1. Najimi Himiko scared. We told you we wanted to do this. Forgive me, but it was the only way out of there. Then we would arrive at a remote place and I would receive a call from Jesus. Jesus. Friend. Friend. Jesus. Friend. Yo. Amigu. Jesus. Friend. Najimi Himiko. Callants. And that I would get closer to Najimi and Himiko. Xenovia. Hey, we have company. Several helicopters and people were looking at us. Himiko. We have to go, carry us. But they said no again. Najimi. Naimoto vamonos. So I would jump while holding Najimi and Himiko and the girls would follow me. Minutes later. We would come out of the sewers. Najimi. That was definitely worse. Let's go. So we would leave, but not before closing the drain cover. This is how we would get to the hotel where my family and I are staying by entering through the window. While inside my parents, my siblings, and the kids were watching TV until they heard a noise. Mom. What was that? Dad. It seems to have come from Joshua's room. So everyone would go, but I would leave the room pulling everyone into the living room while the girls closed the windows and the door. At that point everyone would check their phones, but I would take them away. Would you like to leave your phones please? I want to talk to you. Xenovia Serafall Twilight Göll. Darling. Najimi Himiko. The news. At that moment, everyone would see the news that several helicopters were surrounding the building. Abby. What the hell is going on now? Iridana. Why are there helicopters? At that point, I would open one of the windows and everyone would see that there were a lot of people besides the helicopters. Well, maybe nothing serious happens. But unfortunately everything escalated to the point that some people saw me as a criminal and others didn't, and federal agents interrogated my family. The guy even threw paint on my suit, staining it. But then the man who was helping us would be with us. Sir. Very well Joshua and girls, I have good news. You managed to resolve part of the problem, meaning the lawsuits, but you're going to need a lawyer, so for now you can rest easy. At that a rock would be thrown. He said. Killer overhaul for very. And that I would grab the stone. I was surprised. How did he do that? Sir. I am a good lawyer. So, thanks to Playmaker and Jesus, we were able to move to another hotel that one of my uncles was able to reserve for us for the time being. The strange thing is that that hotel had a strange machine. I didn't know what it was, but I still wouldn't give it any importance. At the moment, in the apartment where we are now, it's just me, my parents, and the girls. Well, the boys and my brothers stayed at Playmaker's house, since returning to the other hotel wasn't a good idea. At that moment, the only one awake was me since I was talking on a video call with my older sister. By the way, how are you doing? Filling out your university letters? Older sister. Yes, but the truth is that now I always wait to be disappointed, but. At that point, you would hear some snoring. Older sister. What is that? Oh, it's our dad. I let mom have the room while the girls and I sleep in the same room. Older sister. I have a strange question for you, something you don't feel relieved about all this. I would put on a thoughtful face at that. Since I got the one for all, I've only had a few months or weeks where my life was normal, well, almost normal, and that was when the whole family found out and our country found out, and that was when the whole world found out, and you could say that the girls and I are the most famous people in the world, hahaha. Older sister. I see, well, it would be better if you slept. I will do it and take care of yourself. We send you our regards. So the call would end while I got up and then entered the room, seeing the girls sleeping like that and lying down next to them. Days later. Now the girls and I found ourselves walking through a school in Mexico because for some reason they wanted me to introduce myself while the news was also on, and the crowd was divided between those who supported me and the girls and those who didn't. So I would enter the school being greeted by some teachers who told me they were happy to meet me, but others didn't because they believed overhaul. Later. I was on the roof of the school with my sisters and also with the girls and boys. Can we stay here a little longer? It's bucking chaos down there. Xenovia. The truth is that I never had this type of problems. Seraffal. Not me at all. Twilight. If I remember correctly, I think I did have a problem almost like this. Little sister. Calm down, brother, everything will be solved. That's when my older brother would arrive. Big brother. I've been looking for them down there, it's total chaos, and how are you, little brother? The truth is it's hard to bear. This reminds me of what happened in Spiderman No Way Home, but now this shit is happening to me. Jimmy. Don't worry, everything will be fixed one way or another. How people hate me and believe the idiot overhaul. Abby. I actually agree. Jimmy. What I'm trying to say is that not everyone is a piece of gold to be liked. I guess, but I hope you manage to get into college, older brothers. So the four of us would give each other a group hug. 3 days later. Finally my brothers received their letters that they sent to the university in our country, so there we were, but. Big brother. Due to the recent controversy we are unable to accept your request. Angry. Well, this isn't fair, I didn't do anything wrong, I really never did anything wrong. Older sister. If you expect to be disappointed, you always end up disappointed. But in that my brothers would tear up their cards, but in that I would see a sorcerer's accessory, and I would remember that Playmaker and Jesus told me about a rumor that a Saturn Santorum appeared in Mexico. Girls, could you accompany me somewhere? Xenovia Serafall Twilight y Göll Najimi Himiko. Sure honey, but where to? Minutes later. After dropping off the kids and following a direction that Playmaker gave me, we would arrive at the Saturn Santorum, and before knocking on the door it would open. And when we entered the place it was full of snow and there were some people putting the snow in buckets. Hooray. This is how the subjects would see us. Hello, we are. But in that case, no one else but Wong would emerge from a magic portal. Wong. The most famous people in the world, Wong, a pleasure, and don't slip, we don't have insurance for butt damage. Xenovia Serafall. Asks why there is snow if we haven't even reached at least November. Twilight y Göll. That's true. Wong. It turns out that one of the portals connects to the Antarctica of this world and we got snowed in. On that. Doctor Strange. Why did someone forget to cast the counter spell to repel this? Wong. And that someone has other important tasks to do. Doctor Strange. Important tasks. Wong. The Sorcerer Supreme has duties. Najimi. Wow, aren't you supposed to be the Supreme Sorcerer? Doctor Strange. Not only did they give him the position because in our world I disappeared for 5 years. So Wong would go look for some things. Doctor Strange. So Joshua. What do I owe your visit and that of your girls to? Oh yeah, sorry to bother you, sir. Doctor Strange. Please, you know me just like everyone here. I think we should get along. Yo. Okay, Steven. Doctor Strange. It sounded strange, but I accept it, and tell me, how can I help you? You see, since Overhaul revealed my identity and the girls, my whole life went to hell, and I thought that if possible you could go back in time and prevent him from revealing it. Doctor Strange. Joshua, in my world we altered time to save countless lives, and you want me to do that just because your life is difficult. It's not really about me or the girls, but it's about my family, my parents, my brothers, their whole future is going to shit just because I'm their family. After that, Strange would propose to me to use a spell called the Kofkulf runes, which would help the world forget that the girls and I are heroes. But something almost the same thing happened as with Peter in No Way Home, because when he altered the spell because he didn't want my family to forget me, it got out of control, and Strange contained it in a pocket dimension. Me confused. Did it work? Xenovia Serafall Twilight y Göll. Did it really work? Jimmy Himiko. Did you fail? Doctor Strange angry. You didn't change my spell 6 times. Actually it was only 5 times. Doctor Strange angry. You changed my spell, that's not done, and this is the result. If it had been released something catastrophic would have happened. Steven, I'm sorry. Doctor Strange, tell me sir. I would just feel a little sad. Doctor Strange. After everything I've been able to observe, I realize that just like Peter, you're a child. Joshua, the problem isn't Overhaul, it's you for wanting to live 2 lives at the same time. I'm sorry your brothers couldn't get into college, but if you tried to talk to them, I don't know what can be done. The girls and I got confused. Jimmy Himiko. What did you say? When you say I tried, are you saying I can talk to them? Doctor Strange. Yes. That can be done. Xenovia Serafall Twilight y Göll. Is that really possible? Then that Strange would approach me. Doctor Strange. Are you telling me that it didn't even occur to you to call and explain your situation before asking me to brainwash everyone? Well, if you put it that way. Then that Strange we had run away from the Saturn Santorum. Jimmy. And now? I think I have a plan in case of emergencies. I investigated and discovered that a person from the university committee of my country is here, so I will go talk to her, but for now go back to the children and my brothers. So the girls would each give me a tender kiss and then leave. Minutes later. I had arrived at a bridge and I had my suit on, which was designed by magical nanotechnology, and then the suit disappeared, and so I was in front of the committee person's car and I had my uniform on. At that the woman would lower the window. Hello, I'm Josu Dalcid Sickle. Lady. Do you know you're in the middle of the street? Yes, but I ask you to listen, my brothers are great people, but it's not their fault that I'm such a jerk, so please don't let the university be a jerk, I mean the jerkiest version of me that allowed them to help me. Lady. You didn't prepare this, right? Before speaking the danger avoidance quirk would activate and he would sense that something was approaching as he saw many people running. At that point my suit would come out again. Ma'am, you better leave, everyone leave the bridge. But the lady was trapped in the car. And that I would see that the cars fell and others turned to dust until from all the smoke would emerge none other than Dr. Octopus and Shigaraki Tamura. Dr. Octopus. Hola Peter. Shigaraki. Hello Izuku. What happens next? Find out in the next chapter. Chapter 12. Act 2. Villains and more villains. Today we present Act 2 Villains and more villains. I was surprised to see Dr. Octopus and Shigaraki Tamura. Hello. Who are you? Dr. Octopus. What did you do to my machine? Shigaraki. What did you do to my team? Your machine. Your equipment. I don't know what you're talking about. Shigaraki. The League of Villains, my team. Dr. Octopus. The power of the sun in the palm of my hand destroyed. Listen to me, if you calm down a little, I'll help you find what you're looking for. Shigaraki. Do you want to play with us? I would say it while some arms made with a dark whip quirk came out of his back, realizing that Shigaraki possessed the all-for-one. And so the two would throw some cars at me, and I would manage to save the people who were inside, but in that moment I would be grabbed by Dr. Octopus and Shigaraki. Dr. Octopus. Shigaraki. You think that suit is going to save you? In that, the two would crash me with a lady's car and then throw me into a car, but I would get out of there and then launch myself into the attack, starting to fight using almost all the quirks of the previous holders of One for All, but even so, I had to save the lady, managing to prevent her car from falling into the cliff. Ma'am, everything is okay now, are you okay? Senora. No. But then I would be grabbed by the arms of Octopus and Shigaraki, thus slamming me into the pavement, and Octopus would grab a part of my suit that would fuse with his arms. Dr. Octopus. Looks like we underestimated you. Shigaraki. But it's time to die. So they were going to attack me, but I would manage to save myself because my mask covered my chest, thus avoiding the attack, but both villains would look at me confused. Dr. Octopus. You are not Peter Parker. Shigaraki. No, ears Izuku Midoriya. Me. Okay, now I'm confused. But in that I would connect to Octopus's arms, and surprisingly I would control Shigaraki's dark whip quirk, thus managing to save the lady. Me. Calm down, ma'am, it's all over now. Lady. Joshua, you are a hero. I'm going to speak with admission about your brothers, and you too. I was surprised. Really? Madam. And if they behave well, they will be given that opportunity. So the lady would walk away and something would attack me, but using Shigaraki's dark whip arms I would catch it and it would be none other than Toga Himiko. Another villain, really? Shigaraki. Looks like you're alive. Toga. Well, I'm not easy to kill, but who is he and why does he have the same abilities as Deku? Okay, listen to me both of you until you stop trying to kill me. I have control of that quirk and those tentacles that control it so. But then his danger prevention quirk would activate again, grabbing Octopus and Shigaraki using his own mechanical arms and dark whips. And that something would fall from the sky and then explore, and from the dust would come none other than the Green Goblin and Dobby. The funny thing is that Dobby had a few strands of white hair. Dr. Octopus confused. Osborn. Shigaraki Toga. Nature. At that point, the Green Goblin and Dobby would launch an attack, but out of nowhere, he would appear in another more specific place in the Saturn Santorum, and after receiving a strange scare, he would appear together with the girls. Xenovia Serafall Twilight y Göll Najimi Himiko. Honey, I'm glad you're okay. Doctor Strange. Be careful what you wish for, Sickle. What the heck is going on here? Doctor Strange. You'll see that spell you messed up to make everyone forget you're a hero, just like the power of One for All, started bringing everyone who knows about One for All from other universes for some reason. I was surprised and confused because I didn't remember Dr. Octopus or the Lizard knowing about One for All. Explain to me how the hell do they know about One for All? Doctor. It could be simple to say that they come from other realities where the UA and quirks exist, including Class 1A, and Spiderman also exists. At that Strange would look at Dr. Octopus. Dr. Strange. Meet a boy who possesses a power called One for All. Dr. Octopus. Yes. Dr. Strange. And it's him. Dr. Octopus. No, the boy has green hair, not black. Dr. Strange. See, I told you. Najimi. Wait, you didn't destroy the spell. Dr. Strange. Not only did I contain him, but it seems some snuck in. When they left, I detected a universal presence and ran into that green, scaly bastard. Listen, I don't know how many of these visitors there are, but you have to stop him. I saw others, it was Dobby, a guy like Frankenstein, and a green elf, I think it's the Green Goblin. So Strange would give me a device that would send the villains to their cells, but I needed help from my brothers so they would help me, but now I would have to wear one of my suits inside out because it was stained with paint. After a while searching I would arrive at a forest like that starting to search while through a phone my brothers and the girls saw me, the only ones who had accompanied me were Xenovia and Seraffal. Xenovia. Where can she be? Seraffal would be. No idea but there's no need to distract ourselves. True. But the following would happen. Author's note. Pretend I'm Spiderman or something like that, just pretend I'm the one fighting, end of note. Xenovia and Seraffal had their backs turned because I put them with their backs turned so they couldn't see. Hey, this may sound strange, but this isn't your universe. Max. Is it another universe? That's why the energy is different here, I like it. He would say it while his eyes shone. Flint Marco. Relax, buddy. And it's my fault they're here. Max. Are you referring to the universe or the forest? Why did he hate the forest? I'm talking about the universe. Max. So what? Are you going to continue ignoring the fact that I'm completely naked? Flint Marco. Yo see. It's not that. Then I would give Max a firefighter's outfit and then send him with the others, as well as Flint Marco, who was getting aggressive. Xenovia. Wow, it was hard to beat that electric car. Seraffal. Now we have to fix this whole mess. The next morning. Norman Osborn and Dobby were in an alley, but then some voices spoke to them. Voices. Cowards, we have a new universe to conquer, and you just hide. You disgust us. Norman. Leave me alone. Duia. Shut up, damn it. Voices. They hide in the shadows, avoiding who they really are. It's something they can't avoid. But then Norman Osborn would destroy his mask, and Tuya Todoroki would run away, followed by Norman Osborn. Meanwhile. Xenovia and Seraffal had finished rebuilding everything, and then I would receive a call from my mother. Hello mom, what's going on? Mom. Son, you have to come to the shelter where I am. Two people searching are here. Quickly together with Xenovia and Seraffal he would arrive at the shelter and enter seeing Norman Osborn and Tuya Todoroki. Mom. Oh, Norman arrived, Tuya, he is my son and two of his partners. We. Norman Osborn. And Tuya Todoroki. Norman. We saw some heroes on the sign for this shelter. Tuya. And we decided to come see you. But Norman and Tuya would start acting crazy. Mom. They are lost, and I'm not just saying in the cosmos, but also mentally, they need help. I was surprised. What? No, Mom, this isn't my responsibility. Mom. What are you talking about? Mother, they can receive help in their worlds, it is the best for them. Mom. What's best for them or for you? Xenovia and Seraffal were watching this because they didn't know what to think if giving the villains a second chance was a good idea. Then using a truck we would arrive at the Saturn Santorum, and besides my suit was already washed. Norman. Thanks for the ride. Tuya. We hope to see you again. At that point the two would get out of the truck. Mom. Son, they trust you just like I do. So I would just be grateful to later join Xenovia and Seraffal to enter the Saturn Santorum. How in the Spider-Man No Way Home movie the villains would start telling about their deaths, and the same with Shigaraki and Toga, who are supposed to have died along with Dabi in the final battle against the heroes. But then Strange would arrive, locking Norman and Tuya up, as well as showing the Kadaba's machine. Twilight Göll. What exactly is that box for? Dr. Strange. He will reverse the spell, and everyone will return to their worlds. Wait, Strange, we can't do it, if we do they will die. Dr. Strange. Sickle is his destiny. Please miss some compassion. But Strange would start preparing the Kadaba's machine, but before pressing the button I would grab the Kadaba's machine, locking Strange in. Older brother. What the hell are you doing? Older sister, little sister. Run fast. Xenovia Serafall Twilight Göll Najimi Himiko. Run, darling. This is how I would leave the Saturn Santorum, but Strange would separate me from my body, but I wouldn't be able to remove the Kadaba's machine. Thus began a great fight that would end in the mirror dimension. Strange, wait, we can discuss it. Dr. Strange. Joshua, don't you understand that in the multiverse there are many people who know about One for All and its carriers, and if that spell is released they will come here. I know, but we can't send them to die. Dr. Strange. It's their destiny and you can't avoid it, just like you can't change who they are. What if we could? If we could change it. But the battle would continue, but using the same tactic as Peter, and with some pamphlets with some anti-magic chains, he would manage to catch Strange taking away his ring and the Kadaba's machine. Sorry, Strange. And so I would go out through the portal back to the Saturn Santorum to look at Strange. But I have to try. This is how he would explain to the villains that he could change their destiny, but somehow Octopus and Shigaraki refused. Tell me, don't you think it would be better? Lizard. Believe me, Joshua, when you try to correct someone there will always be consequences. If you don't want to, don't come, but you'll have to deal with the sorcerer. Lizard. Ah, so we go or we die, what a variety of options. Flint Marco. I just want to go home. Toga. Well, before dying Deku told me that he would try to change, and I thought that this would be a good time to redeem my mistakes, even if that means losing my quirk. So I would entrust the box to my brothers and the girls and tell them to go with the boys so they would accept. My brothers. Good luck and don't die. At that the four would hug me. Then the girls each gave me a kiss and wished me good luck. At that I would turn around to see everyone. Later. The machine in the apartment where my mom and I were turned out to be an experiment they did with a homemade arc reactor, but it had a lot of energy and the machine was a creator of things. So the ones I would start with would be Octopus and Shigaraki and Toga because it was necessary since at any moment All for One would take control of Shigaraki. So with the help of Izuku and the carriers, this gave me an idea to create a device that eliminated All for One from Shigaraki so that he could use the power of All for One on his own. So it was time to try it out. Ready. Dr. Octopus. Shigaraki. No. Nervous Toga. Yes, I'm ready. This way he would hold Dr. Octopus and Shigaraki back and then play something around each of their necks just like Toga and they would stop moving. Be worried. Doc. Shigaraki. Toga. Are you okay? Answer by. And that the three would wake up seeing everything around. Shigaraki. How silent. Toga. I no longer feel that need for blood and I remember everything that happened to my family. Dr. Octopus. The voices, I'd forgotten what it felt like. All three of them felt like crying. Norman. Otto. Tuya. Shigaraki. Toga. Are you alright, really? Shigaraki. If you haven't heard that voice, All for One is gone forever. In that, the device that I put on Shigaraki would disappear because by absorbing and destroying All for One, he would disappear. In that the three would go down to the ground so Octopus would put one of his arms in my suit, so this one was different, it was almost similar to Peter's in No Way Home. At that Shigaraki would smile. Shigaraki. Thank you Joshua, I really appreciate it. Toga. And I thank you too. Dr. Octopus. Thanks, boy, and tell me how we can help you. Now the next ones were Electro and Sandman as well as Norman and Tuya. Dr. Octopus, how does it feel Norman? You'll be back to your old self without your sinister half, just you. Shigaraki. How does it feel, Dabi? You'll be back to your old self and have your skin back. Toga. It will just be you. At that Tuya would turn around looking at both of them. Then smile. Tuya. Just me. After a few minutes the danger prevention quirk would activate again, thus beginning to see everyone to find out who represented a danger until finally it would launch 2 black whips, tying Norman and Tuya up. Green Goblin. How convenient it is that you have that sense of danger prevention. Dabi. Congratulations, you discovered us. Dr. Octopus. Norman. Shigaraki Toga. Tuya. Green Goblin. Norman's gone on sabbatical, honey. Dabi. Tuya went on sabbatical, darlings. Max. What the buck? Be seriously. Green Goblin and Dabi. My mom would go to the room where she was designing the formula for Norman and Tuya. Green Goblin. No more dark half. Dabi. Did you really think we'd let you take away our power? You're so wrong, Joshua. Seriously, I don't know what they're talking about. Green Goblin. Oh no. We saw the whole thing about how he wanted you to fulfill that. Dabi. We don't need you to save us, we'll never need it. And that they would both look at Max and Flint Marco. Green Goblin. These are not curses. Dabi. They are gifts, they are part of us. I'm serious. Enough of this. Green Goblin. I've been watching you under Norman's cowardly eyes. Dabi. And I was watching you under Tuya's cowardly and weak eyes. Green Goblin Dabi. You suffer while you decide what you want, we gods don't have to decide or choose. Be seriously. Mom runs. At that Electro would take off the device and the Green Goblin and Dabi would start hitting me. Dr. Octopus and Shigaraki and Toga would be attacked by Electro, so Dr. Octopus would manage to escape, but Shigaraki and Toga fell in another part of the building. While I was fighting the Green Goblin and Dabi, but they were beating me up and then they would throw me out of the apartment through the wall and they would break the wall. Green Goblin Dabi. With the strength to have it all. With the black whips I would throw a table at both of them, but they would destroy it and then grab me. Green Goblin Dabi. But weak to take it. So both of them threw me to the ground and then I got up and ran towards them and started hitting them, but they didn't even flinch because they just laughed and then they threw me to the ceiling and then grabbed me and threw me to the ground, crossing it, and I would see that Dabi had completely white hair. And then they leave. For my part, with some difficulty, I would climb up the wall seeing that there was that reporter from Mexico who made me look bad. Reporter. I already saw you. Then the lizard would grab me. Lizard. I told you there would be consequences. To then throw me inside the building again and the Green Goblin and Dabi would grab me, throwing me to the roof, then grab me and start crossing the entire floor from floor to floor. For her part, my mother was running towards the entrance where the Green Goblin and Dabi would fall, and between the two of them they were strangling her. Green Goblin. Your weakness, Joshua, is morality. Dabi. And now he's suffocating you. Shigaraki Toga. Just stop. But these would be hit by such a call and crash into the wall. My mom would give them both the cure, but it wouldn't work. Green Goblin. It didn't work. Dabi. Norman and Tuya were right, she inherited it from you. So both of them would make me hit with a rock by putting their feet on my back. Mom would grab an iron bar and then the Green Goblin and Dabi would grab me by the hair, showing that I had several scratches on my face. Green Goblin whispering. You wanted to correct us, didn't you? We hurt. Mother run. Dabi whispering. But now we'll correct you. And then 2 gliders would hit my mom, so the Green Goblin would get on his glider just like Dabi, and his glider would be engulfed by blue flames that served as energy. I was getting up a little while ago. Green Goblin Dabi. Joshua, 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 no good deed goes unpunished, you'll thank us later. At that point, both of them would throw 2 bombs that would explode, and the Green Goblin and Dabi would leave while laughing like maniacs. And that I would hardly get up as well as Shigaraki and Toga. And then my mom would hardly get up so I could approach her. We hurt. Mom, are you okay? Mom? Yes, I'm fine, son. Shigaraki. It seems that those unfortunate people took over Norman and Tuya. Toga. You don't even need to say it. This is all my fault, Mom. I should have done what Strange told me and sent them to their universes. Mom. You did the right thing if they were going to die, but you still did the right thing. Shigaraki. You also helped us. Toga. And we are grateful for that. But this wasn't my responsibility. Mom. No, no, listen to me, son, you have a gift, you have a power, and with great power comes great responsibility. But then my mother would fall to the ground and I would see that she was losing blood. Hurt, Mom. What's going on? Calm down, everything will be fine, okay, calm down. But then I saw that my mother was no longer moving and I couldn't believe my mother had died. Mom. Mother. Mom, wake up. Why are you doing this to me? Please don't leave me. At that I would start to cry. Me crying. Please, I beg you, don't leave me, I need my mom with me, please. At that moment, a taxi would arrive and there was my father who would see everything like this, becoming sad, but he would be taken out of the taxi along with the taxi driver. Father. Son, run, go quickly. Shigaraki. Hey, your father is right, they are looking for you, you have to go. Toga. Joshua, move. Me crying. Mom, sniff sniff, please forgive me, forgive me, forgive me, forgive me, forgive me. Officer 1. Shoot. Father. Son, run. The officers would start shooting, managing to injure me, but I would leave, just like Shigaraki and Toga. Without me being able to hear it, my mother's last words were, girls, I trust you to take care of my son. Minutes later. It was raining and I was watching the report. Reporter. Tragedy, what other name can you give it? What other option is there? You saw the destruction with your own eyes. When will people wake up and understand that wherever heroes like Joshua Del Cid go, chaos and calamity are unleashed, everything a hero like him touches? I'm Jonah Jameson, good night and may God help us. I would just fall to the ground on my knees because now I saw that it was my fault my mother died. Me crying. What did I do wrong, God? Did I do something wrong? Why do people want to see me suffer now? At that point all I could do was scream in pain. Me crying. What will happen now? Will our protagonist manage to stop the villains? Or will he give up? Find out in the next chapter. Chapter 13. Act 3. A Great Power. Today we present Act 3, A Great Power. Meanwhile with the girls and my brothers. These were at Playmaker's house, very sad, plus my brothers, since they were watching the news of what happened to our mother. The Jimmy sad. It can't be that she died like that. The Miko sad. And we don't know anything about Josu, he doesn't answer calls anymore, girls. But Xenovia, Serafall, Twilight and Göll were crying because they were hurt by my mother's death. Xenovia crying. We don't know anything about him, he doesn't answer our calls. Seraffal would be crying from sadness and fear. Seraffal crying. And we are afraid that something bad has happened to him. Göll would be crying too. Göll crying. We are the last thing he has left together with his brothers and the rest of his family, but what if he did something crazy? Twilight would be crying but from fear. Twilight crying. Don't say that, he would never do something like that, I'm sure of that. Twilight would just sit on the floor sad. The Jimmy. Don't worry, he wouldn't do that. I know him very well. The Miko. For now, we just have to keep trying. My brothers, Playmaker and Jesus were also trying to call me, but nothing happened. Playmaker. This is bad, wherever it is, it must be a place with no signal. Jesus. Do you believe? My older brothers were determined to press the button on the Kadaba's machine. Little sister. I just wish I could see him. But as he moved his hands, sparks would come out of nowhere, confusing everyone. Little sister. I wish I could see it. So little by little my little sister was managing to create a portal. Little sister. I wish I could see my brother. This would create a portal from where there were two people. All. Hey, over here. Thus the two people would cross the portal. People. Hello, how are you? The children were scared and quickly hid. People. No, we are not cool. So one of the people would take off his mask, revealing that he was none other than Andrew Garfield Spiderman. And the other person was none other than Shoto Todoroki. Todoroki. We won't do anything to them quietly. Big brother. Who are you supposed to be? Todoroki. Yo soy Shoto Todoroki. Andrew. I'm Peter Parker. Older sister. That's not possible. Andrew. I am Spiderman in my world, but we have been here for days. Both Andrew Garfield Spiderman and Todoroki were watching everything in surprise. The Jimmy. Prove that you are Peter Parker and Shoto Todoroki. Todoroki. Well, I'm happy with my license. Andrew. I don't have my ID, that would ruin the whole being an anonymous superhero thing. In that, Najimi would throw a piece of bread to Andrew Garfield Spiderman so he could do the test by crawling on the ceiling and sticking to the wall. Abby. Okay, that's definitely not normal. Aina. I guess that portal only brought them two. My little sister would try to make another portal again, but none other than the god Tobey Maguire would emerge from it. Little sister. What was missing now? I just brought a normal guy. Tobey. Hi, I hope you didn't mind me stopping by. And that the portal would disappear. Tobey. Oh, it closed. Playmaker Jesus. Amazing. Xenovia Serafall. Are you Peter? Tobey. Peter Parker. At that point the two Spidermen would see each other and both would throw their webs at each other. Todoroki. Okay, this is definitely weird now. Big brother. Wait, if you're Spiderman too, why didn't you just say so? Tobey. I don't usually go around saying that, it would ruin the whole being an anonymous superhero thing. Andrew. That's what I said. Playmaker Jesus. Yes, he said it. Tobey. Oh, you're Todoroki, right? Todoroki. Yes, but how do you know? Tobey. Well, let's say I have a Todoroki in my world. Andrew. Same here. Todoroki. I come from another world where we have our Peter Parker. Twilight y Göll. What are you doing here? Tobey. This may seem strange, but I've been looking for your friend. I have a feeling he needs my help. Andrew. Both of them. Todoroki. Needs help. Najimi Himiko. We don't know where she is. My brothers. And we are the only one left to him. Our mother died and we know nothing of our father. But then Eerie, Dana and Dabby had a lightbulb moment. Eerie, Dana, Dabby. I think we know where he might be. Minutes later. I was on the roof of a very large building where you could see the view of the city, and then my brothers and the girls and the boys and Playmaker and Jesus would arrive and they would all hug me tightly while I burst into tears. Jesus. Dude, there are some people who want to see you. Playmaker. And they are people you know perfectly. At that I would get up and then from the top of the dome would fall the Spiderman of Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire and also Todoroki. Me. Don't come near me back. At that moment Shigaraki and Toga arrived to see what was happening. Tobey. I'm so sorry about your mom. Todoroki. It's Ad, we know. Andrew. I understand you perfectly. Me. No, don't say you understand me, she's dead and it's all my fault, none of you should be here, so I'll do what I should have done. Todoroki. Joshua, wait. Me. That's not enough, the others are from your worlds, right? Well, take care of them, if they die I don't care, I give up, good luck. I was going to grab the Kadaba's machine, but my brothers wouldn't let me. Xenovia Serafall. Honey, at least listen to what they want to tell you, please. Twilight y Göll. They came here to see you. Najimi Himiko. Give them a chance. That's when I would turn around and see Spiderman and Todoroki. Tobey. My Uncle Ben was killed and it was my fault. Andrew, sad. And I lost Gwen, she was my joy and I will never forgive myself for that. I stopped measuring my blows, but I have tried to stay strong like the friendly Spiderman. I wouldn't want the same thing to happen to you. Tobey. The night Ben died, I found the person I thought had killed him. I wanted him dead. I got what I wanted. It didn't make me feel good. It took me a long time to process it. Todoroki, sad. I lost some of my friends, but I know they are fine. Besides, you are just like Midoriya. I can see that in your eyes. Me. I want to kill them. I want to tear them apart. I want to make them suffer. Sniff sniff. I still hear my mother's voice. Sniff sniff sniff. Even though I was hurt, she told me that we had done the right thing. Sniff told me that a great power. Tobey. It comes with a lot of responsibility. Xenovia Serafall. How do you know that? Or do you know that phrase? Andrew. Uncle Ben said so. Tobey. The day she died, maybe she didn't die in vain, Joshua. And that I would look at Shigaraki and Toga. Shigaraki. We can help you with whatever you need. Toga. Here it was solo. Minutes later. We were in a science lab and we were there to repair the broken equipment. Well, I think he can fix Dylan and Marco's devices, but the others. Andrew. Nah, leave Connors to me. I'll cure him once, it's easy. We would look at that strangely. Andrew. What? It's easy. Tobey. Well, I think I can create an anti-serum for Dr. Osborn. I've been thinking about it for a while. Todoroki. I think I can make a cure for my brother. I've been thinking about it for a while. At that both would look at me. Tobey, Todoroki. We have to cure them all, right? That's what heroes do. Yes, that's right. My brothers were looking at me in surprise, as were the girls. What's going on? My brothers. There are two Spidermen, a hero and you. Yes, he. At that Xenovia would look at her sword, Durandal and Göll would look at some gloves, and then both would look at me. Xenovia. I think I can create something to help you, dear. Göll. Same here. So both would leave me confused. Seraffal. Twilight, could you help me with something? Twilight. Of course. So both would leave. Najimi. Do you need help? Of course. Himiko. Don't worry, everything will be fine. That's what we'd all be working on. Playmaker. The two Spidermen here, this is incredible. Jesus. Literally. At that point my older brother approached Toby. Older brother. Question, do you have a best friend? Toby. I had a best friend, he died in my arms after trying to kill me. Older brother. Okay. While me, Najimi, and Himiko were rebuilding Dylan and Marco's devices with the help of Shigaraki and Toga. Hey brothers, forgive me for involving you in this, you don't deserve this. Older sister. No, don't worry, we decided, and our family always comes first. Little sister. We also trust you. Iridana Dabby. Dad, we trust you too, just like our moms and the rest of your family. At that I would hug them all tightly while Andrew looked at that somewhat sadly. Toby. Do you have a girlfriend? Andrew. What? I haven't had time for Peter Parker stuff, have you? Toby. It's complicated but don't give up. It took us a while, but we solved it and now I live with MJ. Todoroki. Wow, you guys are different in everything. At that point my brother would call us and we were finally done. Andrew. Okay, now what we have to do is lure them to a clear place and heal them while they try to kill us and return them home. Toby Todoroki. With a magic box. That's the plan. Andrew. So. Are you going to go into battle dressed as a cool pastor or do you have your suit? At that Toby would show that he had his suit under his clothes. Andrew. Okay. Toga. Well Peter, I made you some web cartridges, they will help you in battle. Andrew. Thanks Toga. Toby. What is that? Andrew. It's the web fluid for my triggers. Todoroki. The Peter of my world also needs those that you don't. And that Toby would show that he doesn't need web cartridges and that his webs are organic. Najimi surprised. I forgot he did that. Himiko surprised. Literally me too. Playmaker. Seeing it in person is Jesus. And he's crazy. Okay, let's not get distracted. Okay, we'll lure them here, it's a clear place and far from the city. We'll use the box because everyone is looking for it. Then the girls would arrive and I would see that they were ready. Xenovia had the original style of Kuo Academy uniforms. On the other hand, Göll had his same clothes on as always. But with the difference that he had gloves similar to Izuku's in the 5th season of Boku no Hero Academia. On the other hand, Twilight had her wings out and her usual uniform. And finally, Seraphim had her magical girl outfit and her magic scepter. Xenovia Serafall Twilight Göll. We're ready, darling. I'm good. Xenovia. By the way, we have something that can help you in battle. Using fragments of the ancient sword Ascalon, I was able to create this for you. At that Xenovia would show me 2 swords that she recognized. Xenovia. This one I call the Elucidator sword and the other I call the Dark Repulsor. I was surprised. Woo, they look great. Göll. For my part, I made you some gloves just like mine. Göll would say it while showing me some gloves just like hers. Göll. They'll help you make better use of the black whips and those air missiles. I was surprised. Thank you very much Göll. Seraffal Twilight. And we did this to you Tarian. So I would see that the girls made me a suit that was a black trench coat just like Kirito's from Sword Art Online. I was surprised. Thank you very much girls. 12 seconds later. I had already put on my new suit and my swords were on my back and I also had my new gloves. Shigaraki. No problem. Toga. The look suits you. Well big sister, that's what you always say, if you expect to be disappointed you always end up. Older sister. No, don't worry, we'll make it, we're going to kick ass. Toby. To heal. Todoroki. Let's heal asses. That way we'd all be ready. Minutes later. Yona Jameson. Ladies and gentlemen, the news has received a call from the homicidal killer known as Joshua Del Cid after his rampage in Mexico. What does he want? Now, Joshua, what do you have to tell us? Well, just the truth. Yona Jameson. Yes or no? The truth is that all this is my fault. Yona Jameson. Well you admitted. Not to be rude, but could you stop making me feel worse? That's what I would focus on. I brought those people here, but if those people are watching this I want them to know that I could have killed them at any time, but I didn't because my mother taught me that we all deserve a second chance, and that's why I'm here. Yona Jameson. And where is this exactly? At a monument to second chances dog. This would show that he was in the construction of the Statue of Liberty that Mexico was building. Yona Jameson. The Mexican Statue of Liberty. You've seen, gentlemen, he's going to destroy another monument. I just want you to know that you made me a mess as much as you wanted Jameson. You are not able to understand my pain, but I hope I am clear with this world. If you are seeing this, wish me luck to your friendly hero and his girls, it would come in handy, and if the rest of my family and acquaintances are seeing this, meaning all my cousins, uncles and aunts. Grandparents and my acquaintances don't worry about me, it's my problem and I'll fix it, but if I don't survive, remember that I loved all of you, and Jameson, think that if you had seen what Overhaul did to some children, you would stop seeing me as a criminal, and I don't wish you ill, but if I die, I just hope that you change that attitude and be that person that everyone wants to see in you. Goodbye and God bless you. Jameson just stayed silent and the call would end. Then he would climb with the girls to the head of the Mexican Statue of Liberty. Okay, ready, they will arrive any moment. Shigaraki Toga. We're ready, Joshua. Tobi Todoroki. Yes, us too. Both would be putting each villain's cure in a specific place. Andrew. You know Max was a good guy and cool until he fell into a pool of electric eels. Todoroki. Sounds creepy. Tobi. That's how they all are. At that point, Tobi would start to move because his back was strained from swinging so much. Andrew. You're okay. Tobi. My back hurts, it's tight from rocking so much. Andrew. Yes, I have back problems too. Todoroki. Not exactly me. Andrew. Do you want me to rip it off for you? Tobi. Yes, it's fine. So Andrew would turn his back on Tobi in a rather peculiar way. Andrew. What? Tobi. Feeling better. And that Andrew would sit just like Todoroki. Andrew. How cool is this? I always wanted brothers, so you make your own spider webs inside your body. Tobi. I'd rather not talk about it. Are you making fun of me? No, he's not making fun, it's just that other Spider-Men don't need that, and other heroes would find it strange, that's why we're curious about your web, that's all. Andrew. No, but if it's a personal question, I don't want to be nosy. Tobi. Look, I'd like to tell you, but I don't even know. It's like breathing. You take a deep breath and you do it like this. Jimmy. Curious question, do they only come out of your hands or do they come out from other places? Tobi. Just from there. Andrew. Have you ever been blocked? Because I'm always running out of time and have to do more in the lab, and it's a pain compared to yours. Todoroki. Even the Peter of my world has that problem. Tobi. Yes, it's a nuisance, but it's happened to me. I say, oh, I have a cobweb block, an existential crisis, you know. Xenovia Serafall. That's funny. Hey, tell me, who are the toughest villains you've faced? Tobi. You've already met most of them. Andrew. What a good question. Tobi. I once fought an alien made of some kind of black jelly. Don't make things up, I also fought against just one who had his brain exposed. Twilight y Göll. Isn't that strange monster from when we first met? Exactly. Andrew. I want to fight an alien. Tobi. I was shocked when you said you faced an alien with its brain exposed. Andrew. I'm the worst compared to you guys, I fought a Russian in a mechanical rhino suit. Todoroki. Wow. Tobi. Hey, can you stop with that whole "you're the worst" thing? Because you're not, because you're amazing, digest that for a moment, you're amazing. Andrew. Yes, you have a degree. At that the danger prevention quirk would activate. Himiko. Hey, does anyone feel the same way as me? Jimmy. I feel their presence. Okay, everyone concentrate, they are almost here. Tobi. Yeah, sorry. Andrew. They're here. Todoroki. It's time. The final battle is about to begin and he was determined to stop this. What will happen now? How will the battle end? Find out in the next and final chapter. Chapter 14 and finale. Act 4, a happy ending. Today we present Act 4, a happy ending. At that moment, a thunderclap would be heard and I would know who it was. Electro. Hello, Joshua. Then that Electro would appear with a new look. Electro. Do you like the new me? Give me the box. I'll destroy it, but don't worry. I'll let you live, don't make me kill you, Joshua. So I would throw myself escaping from Electro. Okay team, do your thing. So everyone would be divided. Andrew. Hi Max, I missed you. So Electro started to follow Andrew while I went through a magic portal and threw the falling machine at my brothers and the kids, Playmaker and Jesus, but my little sister couldn't close the portal. While Andrew continued to dodge Electro. Andrew. Max, we can talk about it calmly. Electro. Look who's my old friend Spiderman. Andrew. I want to save you, Max, I always wanted that. Electro. You're not even the best anymore, but don't worry, I'm saved. Thus Electro throwing a powerful lightning. Andrew. Okay, I have your attention. Tobi Todoroki. Yes, but we're letting you know that the lizard has already arrived too. In that, the two would be facing the lizard while the girls attacked from a distance. Andrew. Joshua, I need Max's cure fast. Tobi Todoroki. Joshua, we need the lizard cure. Okay, hold on, I'm coming. But then something caught me and it was Flint Marco. Flint Marco. Where is the Joshua box? Flint, I can help you, I can help everyone. Flint, Marco. I don't care. But we couldn't coordinate that, and that's when Flint Marco started creating a massive sand tornado right where we were. Andrew. What the hell are you doing? I kept shouting Peter 3 and you didn't listen to me. Toby. I thought you were number 3. Stop arguing with a demon, it's clear we're not good at this. Andrew. I know we suck, I don't know how to work as a team. Toby. Me neither, just a little. Well, yes, since the girls and I have worked as a team. Xenovia Serafall. True, very true. Twilight Göll. So if we want to win, we'll each have to choose a villain. Todoroki. And we're going to eliminate each one. Exactly, okay, let's do this. Peter 2 and Peter 3, we'll tell them. Andrew. Peter 3. Najimi Himiko. Let's do this. Andrew. Wait, I love you guys. Everyone confused. Thanks. Very good attack. So we would all launch into the attack, so it was time to fight against the sinister ones. Okay, Spidermans and heroes, first the sandbox. Toby, Todoroki. We're going to lure him into the statue. Andrew. Let's go there. But then Andrew, Najimi and Himiko would be attacked by the lizard, but they would give me Marco's cure. But I would fall to where they were. On the other hand, Toby and Todoroki had already entered the statue. Toby, Todoroki. Hey, we're already up there, we need the cure quickly. But these were being trapped by the sand. On the other hand, Andrew, Najimi and Himiko would leave the lizard tied up and then pass me the cure in the air so I could throw it to Toby and Todoroki, thus activating it. And so Flint Marco would return to normal. Toby. Calm down, Flint, you'll get home safely. Todoroki. Stay here. And that Electro was releasing a lot of electricity. Xenovia. Her power increases too much. Andrew. I've never seen him stop with so much power. It's that homemade arc reactor, we have to get it out. Electro. They're not going to take it away from me easily. Despite everything we were doing, Electro was strong, so it started to electrocute Andrew and also Göll. Let her go. But in that, Electro would send me crashing. But I would realize that the lizard was going for the box. Iridana Dabi. By legs. So everyone would run while Shigaraki and Toga tried to hold him back, but it didn't work. Stop, Connors. Meanwhile. Andrew and Göll continued to be shocked by Electro. Xenovia Serafall Twilight. Hold on, Göll, we're coming. At that, the girls and Toby and Todoroki would grab the device, but in that some arms would grab them, showing that it was Octopus. Dr. Octopus. Leave them here, they're mine. Electro. No need, I can handle them all. But in that, Octopus would take away the arc reactor from Electro by putting the device on him so his electricity would be absorbed. Dr. Octopus. You're ready. On the other hand, my brothers, the children, Playmaker and Jesus kept running, and my little sister would open a portal from which water would come out. Older sister. So my sister would give me Connor's cure even if I was starting to get back to normal. After that, my little sister would open another portal from where a very angry Strange would come out, but she would see that my plan had worked. Dr. Strange. Just look. In that strange way I would look at my little sister. Dr. Strange. You opened a portal, my respects, little one. Then the following would happen. Strange had appeared. Strange, wait. Xenovia Serafall Twilight Göll. Don't do it, wait a moment. Dr. Strange angry. Shut up your ass, I was hanging from the Grand Canyon for 12 damn hours. I know and sorry for that, but. And that Strange would see the other Spidermans and Todoroki. Oh yeah, right, they are my new friend Shoto Todoroki, he is Peter Parker, and the other is also Peter Parker. Spiderman is crazy. Dr. Strange. Hey, I'm very surprised that you made it and gave everyone a second chance. At that I would smile. Dr. Strange. But this has to end now. I know, and. But in that. Green Goblin Dobby. Can you come out and play? Spiderman hero. So both launched attacks and we would all protect Strange, but the Green Goblin and Dobby almost took the box, but in that we would notice that there was one. Xenovia Serafall Twilight Göll Najimi Himiko, scared. Bomb. Strange knew. But the bomb had exploded and the building began to fall, and my older sister would fall. I would try to grab her, but the Green Goblin and Dobby would grab me. But then Andrew would manage to save my older sister. But the spell was released, creating dimensional rifts. My little sister had been saved by Dr. Strange's cape, while the others were saved by the girls and Toby and Todoroki. Strange would begin to use his abilities to try to stop the collapse of reality. Meanwhile. I was hitting the Green Goblin's glider non-stop and Dobby taking out 2 bombs, thus exploding the gliders, thus falling towards a structure. My brothers would meet up with the kids and Playmaker and Jesus. Playmaker. Everyone's fine. On that. Me. Brothers. Friends. Boys. Girls. Everyone. Don't worry, we're fine. I would feel happy, but I would put on a serious face. While I was getting into combat stance. At that the Green Goblin and Dobby would take off their flight glasses. Green Goblin Dobby. Poor Joshua so weak that he didn't send us to our deaths. Be seriously. No, all I want is to kill them. Green Goblin Dobby. Already sold. That would make me angry. So I launched myself into attacking the 2 of them, thus starting to fight against them, thus hitting the 2 of them, but they dodged my blows, and in that the Green Goblin would take out some blades and give me a fire sword. I would just draw my swords. So he started dodging cuts and clashing swords out of anger and rage, but in doing so he would receive 2 cuts. Dobby. Ha, you're not that tough, right, ha. That would make me angrier, so my swords would shine a brighter shade of blue. So I would kick them both and hit them and then start destroying the blades and swords of the Green Goblin and Dobby with my swords. Then I put away my swords and with my black whips, I grab them and start whipping them against the ground and then lift them up and activate one for all at 90%. Be super angry. Smash. 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 So hitting the 2 of them non-stop, and the Spidermans and Todoroki and the girls and also Shigaraki and Toga would observe what he was doing. Xenovia Serafall scared. If we don't do something, she'll do something crazy. Twilight y Göll scared. We have to stop him. At that moment I felt like my hands were breaking, but I wasn't going to stop and pick them up again later. Be super angry. Double Detroit Smash. So both would be in the air and then fall to the ground. My arms and fists were injured and bleeding was coming out of them. My brothers, the kids, Playmaker and Jesus watched everything, afraid that I would do something crazy and then grab the Green Goblin's glider, ready to use it to kill the Green Goblin and Dobby, but before I could do it, Toby and Shigaraki would stop me. Shigaraki. Don't make the same mistake I did, Joshua. Don't take that path. I would just see what I was about to do and then I would leave the glider. Be sad. Sorry. Shigaraki. Everything is calm now. But in that both Shigaraki and Toby would be injured by the Green Goblin and Dobby, surprising everyone including me. Green Goblin Dobby. She was there because of you, we could have pulled off the hit, but you. I would just look at them angrily. Green Goblin Dobby. Haha, you were the one who killed her, haha. But in that case I would throw the antidotes at both of them. Me. Goodbye Green Goblin and Dobby. At that, Tuia's skin became human again, so he was once again the same man he had been a long time ago. Norman Tuia. Joshua. And that the 2 would look at what happened. Norman Tuia regrets. But what have we done? And that Tuia would be hugged by Todoroki. Todoroki. Calm down bro, everything is fine. Worried Toga. Shigaraki, are you okay? Shigaraki. Haha, don't worry, I'm fine. Toby. Maybe this is nothing to me. Andrew. Good catch by the way. I had a good time Xenovia Serafall Twilight y Göll Najimi Himiko. Honey, look. And that I would see that everything was out of control and I could see people in the sky. I'll be right back, let's go girls. So we would go up to where Strange was. What the hell is going on? Dr. Strange. They're starting to get in and I can't stop them. We have to do something, can't you recast the spell? The original one before me will ruin it. Dr. Strange. It's too late, they're here because of you. I would just feel sad, but then I would remember something Izuku told me when I talked to him inside One for All. Flashback. Izuku. The villains may be looking for you because you have One for All, and there shouldn't be a 10th bearer of One for All, but you are my successor, or rather everyone's, so take care of yourself and don't die, and remember to do the right thing, and never forget to smile. End of flashback. What if everyone forgets who I am and also forgets One for All? The girls were surprised as well as Strange. Everyone comes here for me, right? Why am I the 10th bearer of One for All when there's not supposed to be one, right? So this time cast another spell, but this time make everyone forget who Josu Del Cid Sickle is, the 10th bearer of One for All, make everyone forget about me and One for All. Doctor Strange. No. But it would work, right? Doctor Strange. Yes, but you have to understand that all of us who know and love you will no longer have a single memory of you, as if you had never existed. Xenovia crying. No Joshua, don't do it please. Seraffal crying. Joshua-chan, we don't want to forget you. Twilight y Göll crying. You promised we'd be together forever no matter what happened. The Jimmy crying. Children won't remember you either. Emiko crying. Don't abandon us. At that, everyone would hug me tightly and I would just reciprocate. Doctor Strange. You're wrong, girls. Seraffal. What do you mean? Doctor Strange. You six will still remember Joshua. The girls and I were very surprised. Me? How? Explain yourself, Strange. Doctor Strange. Well, listen carefully. The day Joshua got One for All was when you arrived with One for All without you knowing it. You slowly became part of One for All and Joshua, and you Asuna and Agari when you became demons, and during that time, you also became part of One for All and Joshua, so in short, you will not forget Joshua, since you are now part of One for All. The girls and I felt happy. Doctor Strange. Neither will the children and your two friends forget you. For some strange reason they too will not be affected by my spell, which I do not understand why, but the rest of your family and all your acquaintances and those people you care about will forget you. I know, but I know I won't be alone, so do it. Doctor Strange. Okay, go say goodbye, you don't have much time. Thank you, sir. Doctor Strange. Tell me, Stephen. Thanks, Stephen. Doctor Strange. Haha, if you still hear it wrong. So I would go together with the girls. Doctor Strange. See you soon, kid. At that, Strange would begin to cast a spell. That's when we'd arrive with the other Spidermans, Todoroki, Shigaraki, and Toga. Hey, I think it's time you're going home, thanks, and I really don't know how to thank you, but… Andrew? Joshua, calm down. Toby. Yeah, that's what we do, right? Todoroki. What heroes do. So I would hug them and then go with the girls. Andrew. Toga. They're dying of pain, right? Toby. Shigaraki. Yes, they have no idea. Then I would go to where my brothers and the children were, and Playmaker and Jesus were being hugged by everyone, but I would whisper to Playmaker and Jesus and the children about what was going to happen. Older sister. Okay, now we can go. Listen to me, you're going to forget who I am. My brothers were surprised to hear that. But I promise I'll go find you, I promise. Older brother. No, we can't accept that, perhaps there is no other solution. Older sister. If we can try something, we can do it, right? This is the only way, but as I told you, I'll go look for them. Little sister. Do you promise? I promise. So my brother would hug me tightly while my little sister cried too. Older sister. You better do it because otherwise we'll find out we love you. And me too. Older sister. Don't say it when we meet again. And that we would give each other the last hug of brothers, and then little by little, the villains would disappear and return to their universes just like Spiderman and Todoroki. And that I would look at Strange and my brothers for the last time, and then I would fly away with the levitation quirk, and with the black whips I would take Play and Jesus. All the girls took the boys. So finally the spell would be cast like this, everyone would forget me. Time skip September. Jonah Jameson. It's been months since the Mexican Statue of Liberty fiasco, and hero worshippers still think they're heroes, but if they were, they'd take off their masks and tell us who they are. Meanwhile in Guatemala. I was walking through the streets with the girls and boys because before going to Mexico with them and the children, I wanted to see if my brothers could remember me. We would then arrive at a McDonald's restaurant and I would see my older sister and then my older brother and little sister would come in. Older sister. Give me a moment, what can I offer you? Oh, my name is Joshua and I want a Mac coffee. Older sister. Oh sure, no problem Joshua. And that the girls and I would see that my brothers are now happy. Abby. Won't you tell them, Dad? Dana. I thought you would. Beery. Me too. They are happy without knowing me, I think I will let them be happy. That's what I would pay for my Mac coffee and go with the girls and boys. Minutes later. I would be in a cemetery in front of my mom's grave, leaving her a white rose. And then my father would appear, but obviously he didn't remember me. Father. How did you meet her? To the heroes and you? I suppose she was his wife. Father. Yes, she was, you know, sometimes I wonder if everything she did will always be present in everyone's minds, or if it will just be forgotten. No, that's always remembered well, take care. Much later. Play and Jesus took us to where our new house in Mexico would be, placing various things there, but the girls would catch me. Xenovia Serafall Twilight y Göll Najimi Himiko. Honey, we have a surprise for you. At that point I would close my eyes and then look surprised to see that the girls had pregnancy tests that were positive. I was surprised. Is this real? Xenovia Serafall Twilight y Göll Najimi Himiko. Yes honey, we are pregnant, you are going to be a dad. So I would hug the girls tightly because it was the happiest news in the whole world for me. While we were putting all the things in the house, I would start singing the next song with a guitar. When the song ended, Erie would approach me. Erie. Hey dad, take this, my mom's found it. And that I would see that it was my diary where I wrote many things about my life, so I started thinking and went to my room, that is, where I would sleep with the girls. So I would grab a pencil and start writing while listening to a great melody. I narrated. Dear diary, it's been a long time since I wrote, but I want you to know that since my 17th birthday my whole life changed. I met the girls of my life, I got the one for all, I fought Nomu, the girls became my partners, I faced Muscular, I saved Eri and Dana and Dabby, I faced Stain the hero killer, I met my best friends again, we had several fun times, also mom died. And now currently my family no longer remembers me, but I am not alone, I have my 6 partners, and soon I will be a father, and besides, I am still a hero, and if you wonder who I am, well I am a hero no matter what I went through. Normal narration. I would leave my diary on a piece of furniture and then go out and look at a box, which I would lift and see that it was my things. At that point I would see that everything was taking shape and then I would grab the box to put it in a piece of furniture and start taking out everything I had, including the memories I had kept. Later. It was nighttime and time to patrol and stop crimes. Eri Dana Dabby. Can we go with you? They would say it while putting on masks. Of course, what do you say girls? All. Of course. So we would go out the window and start jumping over buildings and then jump in an epic dive. Everyone. Woo Oju yes. So I started to swing and fly and then do a somersault in the air. Yes Woo Oju. Thus falling in an epic way together with the girls who were carrying the children. And in Colorado this story is over. Ian. Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.